Sto tanto por the motor.
I'm a young truck nigga.
Like down and then you get up and then they want to knock you down again.
Right. I know. I'm like still climbing.
Hey, everyone, welcome to a brand new MMA Roasted Podcast. It's me and Mayhem. We're back. We also have Kayla Harrison, who's a two-time gold medalist, first American to do it in judo. Male or female?
Bless her heart.
She's calling in, and Jamie Kilstein's calling in, who another comedian who moved to Tucson and now has a jiu-jitsu podcast. And wait till you hear this guy's backstory.
Wait, the political dude?
Yeah, he's now. Wait, I'll set him up better.
Right.
But I want to thank Speedweed. First of all, for giving us the studio, and second of all, for being a great service. They have marijuana, they have CBD, they have THC sex lube, they have anything you need. They have. They will deliver it right to you. Mention Roasted, you get $10 off any order $100 or more. And they're great people. This guy Gino is like, he loves fighting, he loves comedy, and I don't know where they found this guy, but he's like an angel. And so thank you, Gino, for being so. He's also one of those dudes that like is with you when you're down and when you're up. He's not a front runner. He's a real guy. He's from Long Island. I think that's what's so good about him. Also, I want to thank Santa Cruz Medicinals. Okay, they have infused MCT oil and coconut oil. You can put it in your coffee to get that potent dose of CBD. Put it in your workout shake. Check it out at scmedicinals.com. Use the code ROASTED for 10% off. It's amazing stuff. Highly recommend it. Hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving. How was your Thanksgiving? What'd you do?
Man, I did a variety of things, but the most interesting one was talk politics with my dad.
Really? He's back from the Philippines?
Yeah. And
all right.
let me tell you.
He's a big Trump guy, right?
The biggest.
All right.
I mean, I don't know how this man got indoctrinated like this.
He's a military guy, too.
I know, but I mean, he never was this way before. Like now, over the course of the conversation, I kind of figured out it's not so much that Trump is awesome, it's that his team is winning. And he's fucking loving it. He was swinging a fucking fork around in my face, telling this, that. I don't give a shit. What about Nancy Pelosi? I'm like, bro, I wasn't even arguing. He was spitting out every talking point to me, rapid fire, man. He's like, man, he's a bad motherfucker.
But I think a lot of time, I think people now have decided to pick a team.
Everyone did.
And
and since I was out of society and I'm out the game, so I don't even have any skin in this game. I can't vote.
Right.
So I'm cool. Like y'all do you know what I mean? I'm just trying to get by.
But you're a human guy. I mean, you're for people. I mean,
I'm for people, but I mean, at this point, all y'all is at each other's throats. So go ahead. I'm gearing up for the Civil War.
No, first of all, there's not gonna be a Civil War.
Why not?
I'm on Team Mayhem if there is one.
Yeah, I'm saying, bro, me and you, we're gonna be sitting on a pile of machine guns, and everybody's food, every canned food, keep collecting it, because me and Adam are coming for it, baby.
That's a scary thought.
Right?
Now, last Thanksgiving, you were in jail.
Oh, and the Thanksgiving before, too. Don't forget.
Now, what did you do for Thanksgiving in jail?
Man, I'll tell you, the canteen really goes hard. Everybody, you crush up some ramen noodles, right? You put in some, oh my God, I can't believe I'm busting this out. You crunch up some Cheetos, put that in there. Crunch up some chitlins.
Yeah.
Or not chitlins. What's that called? Pig skin? What's that called?
I don't know.
Come on, bro. You're down with the pig
skin.
Yeah, you do.
No, I don't.
Anyway, not right. Chitlins. Anyway, you put that pig skin. There's some dudes in there that have been down for so long. Bank robbing Jimmy was next door to me.
Yeah.
For he'd been inside that facility for 10 years, the same box, and he just made some magnifique.
No, do they have is it festive? Do they decorate it at all? Or
yeah, we all made little finger paintings of turkeys.
Really?
No.
Idiot. No, I mean, do you guys know it's a holiday though?
No, there's no clocks in there, so we just
Are you
stare
serious?
at the.
You know it's Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Okay, but I'm saying, is there what I'm thinking is they have
the kitchen came busted out the first good meal that they have. And the last.
But is it like a mess hall? You're all out in the open.
Nah, they deliver your tray to your door. It's kind of like Uber Eats.
Really?
Yeah.
You didn't actually all get together.
No. There is no together inside this facility.
Wow.
I know.
Not even on Thanksgiving.
No. Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, look, that's what you do when you break the law.
How did everyone talk to you? When did people talk to you and tell you their problems and all that stuff?
Through the vents? Yeah. I know. I never really told you about this, huh?
No.
Yeah. It's a very painful place. I play a lot of chess games.
When you said you led the workouts,
yeah.
Where was that?
I was in my box and everyone was in their box.
So you can actually see people when they're
This is like the equivalent of death row, buddy. Like, even though I didn't do that bad a crime, these guys, the section I was in was with like the most violent and crazy offenders. I told you, a dude.
Yeah, but I thought that you could actually like make physical contact with the other guys.
Not most of my time was it was completely segregated.
But when you say people tried to get you to join their gang,
yeah.
If you're isolated, how does that happen?
Man, I'm writing a book about it right now, about that. I was just writing a chapter about that. And it's just, prison culture is like this thing where you guys all like cordon off into your relative racial groups.
Right.
And it's like, and I had the benefit of like living kind of outside that society, you know what I mean? But the woods was like trying to get me.
But I'm saying, when did they?
I didn't know we were going to jump right into this. I like it. I say fuck MMA. Let's just talk weird shit the whole time.
When does this happen? Because
you don't have anything else to do. So over the course of the days, you kind of figure it out. Like, it's assumed that me, a white man, is on the white man's team.
Right.
Now, I kind of like was like, all right. But like, not really. Like, I'm doing my own thing, guys.
But when you did, like, you said you would run 5 miles.
Yeah.
Out
there's a rec yard.
Yeah.
That's like, I don't know. It's like.
Were you running from the white supremacists trying to get you to join their gang?
Yeah. I was jogging around them.
They were like, join us.
Yeah. Yeah. It was bizarre. Yeah. There's a guy in there who just looked like your average everyday soccer dad.
Yeah.
And he like talked about soccer dad shit and his son and yada yada. And then he takes off his shirt and he's got the giant swastika Hitler tattoos.
Wow.
And I mean,
what was he in there
and
for?
I get it. He was like on some fraud stuff, but he was over there because he was part of Brotherhood, Aryan Brotherhood. So, and that's a direct result of this prison content.
No, but what I'm asking you is like,
he's been in and out of prisons for like since he was young. So in order for him, some skinny dude, to like be protected from the terrible environment that he's in, he joined that gang. And now, he told me straight up that he regrets getting all this.
I can't go to pool parties.
Yeah, no pool parties. Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. He mentioned that exactly. Yeah. So I mean, it's just a bizarre another planet.
No, but what I'm asking you is like, so Thanksgiving, you were by yourself.
Yeah.
The 24 hours.
Yeah.
So they
23
hours.
Got out 1 hour, walked around to everybody's box and said hello, happy Thanksgiving. You know what I mean?
Did they say, hey, Mayhem, happy Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
They call you Mayhem or Jason there?
Mayhem, yeah.
Wow.
So, it's like,
oh, man. So it's nice to have Thanksgiving out.
Yeah, I'll say. I'd much rather dodge a shank from my dad than with the guys I was in there with.
I get nervous when your dad are around. For you.
I know. Me and my dad just like, look, man, we're in public screaming about politics. I just kept, bringing up, it certainly looks like he's in trouble with this impeachment. He ain't in trouble with this impeachment. And I'm like, yeah, but it certainly looks like he did a lot of corrupt stuff. Oh, what about
Hillary and
no, not Hillary. What's his name? Joe Biden. I'm like, I don't give a shit about Joe Biden.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's and like it's like a Mexican baby screaming, crying next to us. We just didn't even.
I'm not a Trump hater.
I think Trump's awesome.
I'm not
it's
a
hilarious.
Trump fan. I can see the good and bad in a lot of things. There's some things that he seems to be doing really well.
Listen,
other things
he's the number one gangster.
But
and we live in a gangster
at the
society.
same time, it seems like people are just all or nothing.
Everybody.
And it's just like, wait,
well, we both know this, that everybody has, their echo box. Everybody's stuck in their own Facebook friend group. I don't even look at Facebook most of the time. I very rarely do I go on there.
I made your picture
because I know that you become indoctrinated by if you keep looking at the same stuff. I'm on Reddit. I follow different conservative, I see everybody's like
Point of view.
no, not their bullet points.
Yeah.
Because your your talking points dictate your attitudes and opinions. And my dad just so happens to be on all those conservative ones, so he just regurgitates. He's just hitting me left and right with every talking point.
Problem is that Fox News, like Tucker Carlson, could be the best comedian.
He loves that guy.
He is hilarious.
He's not?
He's
way funnier than you, Adam.
But he might be. I think I laugh more at him than I do at my own. Anyway, let's talk about. So I had a show in Key West.
What happened? Yeah, you look.
So I almost got into a fight in Key West.
Why?
I'm on stage, and it's a big military, a lot of military base out there in Key West, Florida. Which if you're gonna be stationed anywhere, Key West, Florida is a pretty good place to be stationed at. And I'm on stage, and it's like a little club, it holds like 100 people, but everyone's laughing. And then I do one joke about dick pics. I'm like, it's never a good sign when you send a girl a dick pic and she writes back LOL. And I go, oh yeah, laugh out loud, right? Or no, I go, okay, yeah, lots of length, right? That was the punchline. So then some guy in the back just yells, some drunk guy goes, you got a small dick. So I'm like, all right, I got a small, but like I hadn't even engaged in him. Like I wasn't even talking to him. I was talking to people in the front, but I could just sense energies. This guy had a bad energy,
Wait, but why did you let that guy shake you? You're such a professional comedian, dude.
Well, there was something about him that like,
it was just the way he said it.
No, I was like, okay, all right, I got a small dick, I got you, right? And like, I have different ways of dealing with hecklers. One of them is rope-a-dope, which is you let the guy get off, you go, you got me, haha. Then at the end, you just fucking pile on him when he's not expecting it.
I've seen you fucking obliterate dudes.
When he's not expecting it, because then when they're expecting it, so I move on, he goes, you got a small dick. Like
again?
Like 3 or 4 times, right? So I'm like, all right, this guy's not letting me do any more material. So I go, well, you would know, it's been in your mouth, right?
Yeah.
And then everyone starts dying laughing. Yeah. But then I was mad, which is comedy is not supposed to get angry.
No.
But I was like, yeah, and your girlfriend's mouth. And your mom's mouth. And your grandma and your aunt. I just kept going. And his girl was like, stop it. Shut up. And after that.
He couldn't let it go.
He was just like, ugh. So then he gets up and leaves. And now he's waiting for me.
No.
Pacing around.
Nice.
So I get off stage.
Would you shoot a single leg?
I'm just like, fuck, I just drove 4 hours from Miami. Do I want to fight some fucking military guy right now in Key West? I mean, what am I going to get out of this? Like,
Nothing.
If I win,
charges.
Great,
that's
right?
it.
Yeah. So then the guy left. Next day, he told his friend to apologize. He was going through a hard time. He had a funeral to go to, and I said, "Tell him thank you for his service, and
and for sucking my dick,
and his girlfriend for her service." Yeah,
brutal.
So that was one. Then my wife went to after hearing the whole strip club thing on the podcast. She wanted to go.
Oh yeah.
So we went to
the strip club.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So we go to the strip club in Miami. My friend DJ Platypus was
awesome.
the DJ there.
Great name.
And he puts my name on the billboard, like on stage, like welcome Adam Hunter. My wife was not impressed with this. She's like, oh wow, you're quite a big deal here.
Did he know your wife was with you?
Yeah.
He did that for you? Good
But
job.
then my wife's like, I think my friends are hotter than these girls.
Wow.
But what do I say to that? Like,
you say, well, get them to dance. Like, come on, bro. Come on. You got to do the play. What would Mayhem do?
Oh, God. I got to do the opposite of whatever.
Exactly,
I was like, well, which friends, And then she named a couple of them. Like, yeah, I don't think. So then we're like, I'm drinking something. And she goes, hey, she goes, did you ever taste this or something? Or no, she goes, did you ever do this? And I thought she meant the stripper move back when I stripped for like 2 days. And I was like, I got better moves than that. She was like, I meant the alcohol, you asshole. I was like, oh shit. So then it was, sometimes my wife will get me with the other day we were lying down and she's like, she's like, my boss asked me what the craziest thing you've ever done is. Guess what I told her? And I was like, I don't know, the time I got naked for 15 Mexican chicks. And she's like, no. I was like, I don't know, the time I had a threesome with the porn star. She's like, now she's getting angry.
Bro,
I'm like, I don't like this game at all. Like,
you always just be digging a hole for yourself with your wife, bro. It's like every story you have with your wife is like, yeah, well, I took a shit on the floor and then she was angry, so I wiped my ass with the rug. I'm just like, what, bro? How can you make this worse? Like, there's that constant and the dynamic between you guys. So what happened? I don't understand.
So what happened was she told the story, which I thought would be funny. So there was a girl. I told her this. I was in, I don't know, one of these places like Arkansas or Wichita, Kansas.
Shout out.
And I met a girl off Tinder, and this is back when I was single. And then we go back to her place. And there's a remote on her bed. I go, is this for the TV? She goes, no, it's for my asshole.
Nice.
I go, what do you mean? She's like, oh, when she was younger, she was in a gymnastics accident and her asshole fell out. So she had a remote control asshole.
Bro, you were hooking up with remote control asshole girl?
Yeah, I didn't know.
That's badass. She's like a cyborg kind of.
But I was like,
did you give it a test run or did you like?
I didn't go near the asshole, but I was like, oh, does this work for the garage too? And like, does it change the channels?
That's what she calls it.
I'm like, do you ever
garage.
like take the batteries? So yeah, so that was like, I didn't want to discriminate. I felt bad at that point. I had to, she was cute, but I didn't actually. Well, what would you have done?
Did you take her to Pound Town?
We had sex, but I didn't.
You didn't even check back there?
No.
You didn't turn around and like, check out the garage door opener?
No.
Jesus,
you would have done that?
I think so. I think once I had the remote control, I would have like totally been too, I have a scientific mind. I have a very inquisitive mind. I'd want to know everything about it. I'd like make her sit on the toilet and like, you know what I mean? Garage door goes up. Garage door goes down. Garage door goes up. Garage door goes down. That's just how I am.
Do you ever think that this gets in your way, like before the CB Dalloway fight, and you were at hedonism, right?
For sure, undoubtedly. I've grown a lot from that era, but I still have this inquisitive nature, especially with robotic assholes.
Yeah.
Man, how you didn't explore that further?
It was
gymnastics
late.
accident.
I was tired.
And
yeah,
she literally
her asshole fell out, which I didn't know was a thing. I didn't know that I could.
Was it a Samsung or was it a universal remote?
No, it did. It was just to the asshole. It didn't actually go to the TV or anything else. It wasn't like an all-in-one.
Did it look like a legitimate?
Yeah, remote? She wasn't
remote?
lying about it. Like, I don't think that was like her prank.
I know, yeah.
I don't. But yeah, it was crazy. So
did she want to stick that remote in your butt and then you guys could be connected in more ways than one?
No, I don't think I would have let her. I'm not a big thing up for things up my butt.
Yeah,
I know you.
I've heard
a couple.
What?
Okay,
Have
but
I
don't know. You told me some fun, some fun things. By the way, speaking of
fun
Kayla,
things.
All right, so
what
is Kayla? Is she on the thing? Okay,
No,
all right. So we got Kayla Harrison, who has a very nice butt, 155-pound fighter, great girl. So anyway, you want it? Okay. So anyway, let's talk about then we went on this cruise. My friend gets married on a cruise on fucking Thanksgiving. Like,
yeah,
could I think of a worse fucking?
What a jerk! Your friend. Who is this guy?
One of my best friends. He lives in California. His wife lives in California. Both like in like L.A. There's a port right here in Long Beach. We all have to go to Miami to go on a cruise that I bombed at, right? And then we get there. My wife tries to save money for the first time ever. They give us the worst cabin. We go in there, there's bunk beds. And not even like on top of one another. Like one thing, and then a Murphy bed comes out from the other side of the thing. So I feel like she keeps sounding like it's going to collapse on me the whole time.
Y'all can't share a bed? What is
we
this,
did, but
50s?
it's a twin bed, and we couldn't sleep.
Yeah.
I'm waking up coughing.
What? Why?
Because she was a little sick, and then I got sick, and we told them it was our honeymoons. They would upgrade us, and they didn't. But instead, they wrote "Happy Honeymoon" as if we would get bunk beds on the fucking every time we came in.
Oh my God, Adam!
It was the absolute worst. My friend doesn't even know when the wedding is. I go, "When's the wedding?" He's like, "Oh, I think tomorrow." Like, he's stoned as fuck. It was,
what a nightmare.
It was a nightmare. And then we go on one excursion. My wife wants to go horseback riding, which I don't want to go. But I'm like, all right, we'll go horseback riding. So the horses go into the water, which was nice, except that when they go in the water, they all shit. So the horse in front of you just get
floating, just turds floating
everywhere. You can't wait to get out. But like it was the worst. It was the fucking. I ended up hating my friend for this. Like, I was one of two friends who showed up to the wedding. Like, no one else came. It was like I was one of two friends and another comic who was like trying to bust my balls. It was brutal. It was brutal.
That is.
So that was my Thanksgiving.
It sounds like a damn nightmare. But I mean, come on. Didn't you like
It was
enjoy
nice. The wedding
sharing
was
the
nice.
matrimony with?
Yeah,
with
but I
him?
didn't like sharing a twin bed on a fucking. It was brutal. All right, let's talk about fights until Kayla comes on.
All right.
So fights that got announced this week: Khabib versus Ferguson.
Yeah. I knew that was gonna happen.
Yeah, I thought it was going to happen in March, but now it's in April in New York, in Brooklyn. What do I think about this fight? Look, I like Tony Ferguson. He's my friendly-ish. He texts me at like 4 in the morning sometimes, like
Nice.
randomly.
Nice.
He's kind of an odd guy, but a great fighter. I think he makes a lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
He's always like one punch away from getting knocked out in his fights. Not always, but a lot of times. And I wonder if this is just not the guy you can be careless against.
I think the opposite. I think that Khabib hasn't been like outed yet for his kind of sloppy stand-up. And if he decides to stand up with Ferguson, he's going to get tagged. I really think that's the way it goes.
But you only think Conor had better striking than Khabib, especially after boxing? Than Ferguson?
But look, it's not A plus B, right? It's a different style, completely different style. Ferguson don't mind getting taken down, and he will get taken down, undoubtedly, during the fight. But I think he can weather the storm way better than Conor. And Conor, making that weight and Khabib's style of just wearing you out with wrestling, I think that Conor made a lot of mistakes during his fight, and Tony is a complete different animal. He's gonna get taken down, and he's gonna be okay with that. He's gonna try to attack from the bottom.
What do you think about him making some of his crazy 10th Planet, I don't know, go-go plata or vaporizers, things that he does? You think that he could possibly catch Khabib in one of these?
I think it'll be very, very difficult. It's possible, but at the same time, once guys get sweaty after the first round, it's very difficult to catch submissions on the bottom. And it's not unheard of, but it's really hard. And Khabib is just going to keep grinding. He's not going to. He's such an expert grappler that he's not gonna put himself in a spot to get caught. He's gonna be studying all that 10th Planet, and it's all out there on the internet. So there's no special magical technique. But I think definitely there's a possibility. But more than likely, I think that the striking is going to come into play at some point in the fight. Now, again, Khabib is going to be the favorite for a reason. But I think that.
So you bet on Tony if you had money?
Yeah, with a good line, yeah, for sure, because it's like one of those, he's got some magic that the other guys that Khabib fought doesn't have. I think the style matches up a lot better than his previous challenges. That being said, yeah, the smartish money is on Khabib, but I like the underdog.
I want Tony to win. Don't get me wrong. I just even the Cerrone fight, he got tagged a lot.
Oh yeah.
Now, granted, you're right.
And look, yeah, you get tagged a lot, but see, you're apples and oranges again, bud. The damn Cowboy is. That dude is a striking machine, and he's much bigger, heavyweight. You know what I mean, compared to Tony. So it's like a whole different ball game. Look who's on.
Oh, look who it is! It's the beautiful, talented, sexy Kayla Harrison. How are you? Oh, we got to put our things on.
Whoops.
Not feeling super
Let's put our
sexy in
headphones.
the champ camp, but
There she is. She's fighting for $1 million on New Year's Eve.
Nice.
$1 million. And it's funny. I saw her, and she came to my show when we were in Florida, and I said, "Hey, you're probably gonna win $1 million." The look of anger. Probably, and I was like, I was like, holy shit! Now I realize
She's a competitor.
Oh my god! I didn't want to jinx you, is what I was trying. I didn't want to say, hey, you're gonna win $1 million, but how are you, Kayla?
don't worry about it. I'm good, thank you.
Are you excited? Are you nervous? Is this how different is this than the Olympics?
Well, the Olympics is a one-time thing every 4 years. You train your whole life for one day, so it's a little bit insane. But this feels very similar. It's intense. I think it's a little more intense because it's just one fight. It's just one girl. You don't have a whole bracket or anything like that. But I'm excited. I haven't touched gold since 2016, so the fact that I'm less than a month away now. I'm ready.
I'm excited for you. You're obviously, you had a crazy backstory. You're super sweet and giving. Thanksgiving, you gave out turkeys to everybody. That was very nice of you.
Thank you.
And you seem very, very, very cool. I'm excited for you. You getting some, feedback on that?
I'm getting total feedback. I just think it's from her hotness, those smoking eyes. She's just wrecking us right now.
I do not feel super hot right now.
I know you look like you're just about to train. You're not all dolled up right now, but I could see the beauty shining through.
Do you know who Mayhem Miller, by the way? Did you watch Fully Beat Down?
Mayhem. Are you crazy? Of course she knows me. She wouldn't be laughing like this if I was just some squirrel neck.
Yes.
Hey, let me ask about the specifics of the fight. You have a victory over this woman already. I mean, how do you not go in too arrogant? How do you come into this? What do you expect out of the fight?
Well, the last time I fought Larissa, it was on 1 day notice. My opponent changed. Wow. I got bumped from being the co-main to the main event because Magomed was sick, and I really didn't know a lot about her. I watched 1 or 2 old fights. But she's a really game opponent. She's very well-rounded. She has more experience than me. She's only lost to people who are like undefeated or UFC or former UFC champs. Yeah. She's legit. And I think I went in there not really knowing what to expect. I also personally just wasn't in the right frame of mind. But I'm not taking her lightly. I expect this. I'm mentally preparing for a 5-round war, and I'm mentally preparing to go out there and instill my will 1 minute at a time, 1 exchange at a time, 1 round at a time until I break her.
Now, she says she's going to knock you out. She went on record. She's going to knock you out. Does that fire you up? Does that piss you off?
I mean, it's irrelevant. She can think whatever she wants, I think it's good for her. Good for her.
Now, like specifics. Now, like I seen your fights where, like, what techniques translated directly from judo for you, and which ones, like, and what area of your game are you like most focused on for this fight?
The techniques that translated best for MMA really were techniques that I didn't use a lot in judo. A lot of foot sweeps, inside trips, things of that nature, outside trips. And I was known more for my hip throws in judo. I was a big power player, these hips don't lie, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
but without the jacket, those techniques are difficult.
Yeah, right? Unless you got an underhook,
grip.
It's pretty dangerous to turn your back on an opponent.
Yeah.
So
now, why are judo people so arrogant? Like
what?
You ever like people that do judo, like Carol Parisian, Ronda Rousey,
that's a bad
like
comparison.
all the Armenians, like you, like what is it about judo that I mean, not arrogant, but like
it instills confidence.
Yeah, how come
you're fucking up.
Why
dude.
are they so confident? People that do judo.
Well, first of all martial arts instill confidence if you are taught them properly. An inner confidence that is unshakable. Second of all, I'm just a bad bitch. That's why I'm confident. So.
Hey, good answer. Good answer.
Now, you did say that you're the best grappler in MMA. You said that's man or woman. You're the best.
Wow.
You believe now? I mean, so like, how do you think a fight like you versus Gary Tonin, or you versus Dylan Dennis, or you versus Ben Askren?
I already beat up Dylan Dennis.
I heard you attacked him at a club or something. What happened?
Oh my God! Now you're like, bro.
I'm not talking about this.
All right,
Nice.
okay. We can take. Want to take this part out or no? We could. All right, I'll put it out there. All right. So wait, you beat up Dylan Dennis? You actually beat him up?
I have no comments.
Okay.
She can neither confirm nor deny that.
Okay.
Dylan knows where I train.
Oh, you guys trained, and you got the best of them.
He knows where to find me. He knows where to find me.
Nice.
But I mean, there's some great grapplers, like
Of course there are. No,
a guy like Gary Tonin, or.
I think that why do I have to explain myself?
You don't just ignore
that.
it.
Sorry.
He's ridiculous.
You ask
This guy.
to explain
He's a
themselves
comedian.
when they think they're the best. Like
No.
say like, oh, why do you think you're the best? Okay, well, why do I think I'm the best? Because I know how hard I work and I know all the knowledge that I have, and I know the coaches that I have around me, and I know, everything that I've put into this, the 26 plus years of work, and
all right, I'm scared.
nothing and nobody can stop me.
Okay, fine.
Let's get back to the fight. Obviously,
I'm gonna
calm down, dude. Yeah,
right.
You better be quiet.
Stop shaking her up, bro. God, I'm just, we're trying to get some
Guy
MMA out of
coaches a
her.
high school wrestling team, and all of a sudden he knows.
Middle school.
Oh,
Dude.
not even.
Yeah, not even high school.
I can't fuck with the high school kids.
Yeah. He just beats the shit out of middle schoolers all day. I've seen him.
All right,
so look, she's obviously planning on, she wants to make this a stand-up battle, obviously, because the best grappler in the world's after her. So, so shut the fuck up, Adam. So,
Why is that funny again?
Go
on.
I
mean, what's your strategy to avoid this striking battles? You're one of the best people to make it into a grappling match, but obviously she's going to be trying to counter your foot sweeps, trying to keep the jab, and what's your plan for that? What's your plan of entry?
I mean, I think she's definitely a counter striker. I don't really see her coming after me. I'm definitely going to have to probably chase her down and get her close to the cage, take her down. I think that really the key for me is just to be patient. I got to pick my shots, pick them wisely, and I don't think she has the greatest gas tank. So, just slowly go out there and wear her out.
Have you thought about what you're gonna do with $1 million?
Everyone asks me this. I
Pay your
I'm gonna
taxes.
donate some to my foundation. I'm gonna probably go on a little vacation, go see my
Nice.
family, maybe take them somewhere nice, and
That's awesome.
that's it.
So she joined her high school wrestling team because she had a crush on a boy.
Nice.
But then beat him up. And then beat up the whole team, and then got kicked off the team for beating everyone up.
Perfect.
I
Sounds
didn't
romantic.
get kicked off the team.
Oh,
That
what
is
happened?
so dramatic.
I know.
You
All right,
are
what
just
happened?
like, I didn't get kicked off the team. I just.
Look, let me apologize
Did
for
I
Adam.
tell you I got kicked off the team?
He has a
Yeah,
flair
no,
for
you
the
said
dramatic.
that you said you came and joined the
No,
team, but
he
you beat
does
up the
have a
guy that you
huge
like.
flair.
You said you beat up the guy you
So
like.
I like this kid. Man, this is going back. I liked this kid. Whatever. He was the captain of the team. Whatever. Yeah, it was a long time ago.
And then you
So you beat up the kid that you liked.
Michael, if you're listening, you blew it, bro.
Wow.
I'm about to be a millionaire.
But you didn't want to marry your high school
It was
sweetheart anyway.
Bisbing. Michael Bisbing.
He wasn't my sweetheart. He was like the definition of a fuckboy. I just didn't know what that meant.
All right, speaking of fuckboys, so are you single right now, or?
Yeah.
Yes, I know you had the boyfriend. You guys were together. I know it was a breakup. I don't want to talk about it. But
Me neither.
now, are you? I'm not going to mention it. But so, are you on Tinder or Bumble, or are you? Is anybody?
I'm on Raya.
You're on Raya? Wow.
Nice.
You know what Raya is, right?
Everybody download that in the Florida area.
You gotta be
What is it?
It's for celebrities.
Oh, yeah?
It's only you have to be a celebrity or a model or famous.
That's not true, by the way. It's totally not true, by the way. For some reason, there are a ton of real estate agents on there. Okay.
Well, they're famous
I heard
real
it's
estate agents.
just Jeremy Piven and then a bunch of hot chicks models. So okay, so you're on Raya now. Are guys? Because you do look. I mean, you look great. Because I saw you came to my show. You were wearing like a dress. Her arms are just like.
Yeah,
but I could tell like.
She's a specimen.
Let's see what some of my. Let me see if I can show you one of my pictures on there.
Oh, nice.
I dumb down the muscles a little bit. I don't want
Really?
to scare them off.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
little.
are guys intimidated?
Wait, time out. Yeah. What kind of. Look, you're dating the wrong kind of guys. Oh, look at her.
Whoa.
What is this? Your Christmas outfit?
Whoa, but who's the friend?
Shut up! Oh wait, I get the booty in there too.
I can't believe we're helping her on her quest for love. I feel like
Well, she's this is
matchmaker.
a gold
need it.
medal.
Have
This is
you
a two-
guys-
Nobody in the history of judo American won the gold
Nice.
medal. She won it twice. Wait, where's that picture? Let me see again. Hold on.
He
I
missed
didn't see it.
He missed it.
I was bragging about you.
Oh, the other
Whoa,
one. The other one,
damn.
she was naked.
You got some cakes there. Look at you. So, Whoa, look.
Have you had any matches yet? I mean, have you gone on dates off this?
Yeah.
Like, I can't believe you're showing us
Damn.
this.
Look at you.
It's amazing.
You look very
I have no shame. Here's me and Dan. Look at Dan.
Yeah,
Dude,
you can't have a
the
guy
owner of
there.
ATT,
Yeah, you can look. I'm
owner
just
of
gonna tell
ATT
you.
and the owner of ATT in a Freddie Mercury costume. Have you ever seen anything better than this?
No, but I want to look at you. I don't want to look at fucking.
Look at Dan
John.
Lambert.
I'm swiping left on that.
So all right. So are any guys now? Do guys try to pick you up at
Why
the gym?
am I doing this? Oh my god.
Yeah, you're getting weird today.
But are guys trying to at the gym? Are they going up to you? Because I would think that some guys are a little intimidated that like maybe you're very strong, a very strong woman, very powerful woman. Are guys ever kind of afraid a little bit of like, yeah? So what kind of guys hit on you? Just like bodybuilders or huge black dudes or little Twinkie guys that like have like a fetish?
Maybe short
All the
dudes?
above.
All the
Oh,
above.
wow.
And then you don't like those guys.
All the above.
You want a regular dude.
Well, I don't know what I'm married to the game right now. Honestly, I haven't looked at that account in probably a month.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not really I'm not searching for love. This is my favorite quote about love. The flower doesn't dream of the bee. The flower blossoms and the bee comes.
That was so poetic.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of guys
you
like to
should
fucking be
just be
coming
a
on that
rapper.
bee. Guys want to be coming on that bee. All right, so now I know that you and Ronda Rousey were frenemies. You guys trained together. Has she reached out to you and wished you luck on any of your fights?
No.
That's a no. That's a hard no.
That's bullshit, right?
Nah, I mean, look.
And it's okay. Look, it is what it is. We haven't lived or really been in the same circle for years now. She's a busy woman. I'm a busy woman. I get it. I mean, there's no hard feelings from me or anything.
Just say, hey, good luck. She could just say, good luck, kick some ass tonight, or hope you win.
Yeah, I mean, whatever it is. I mean, I'm pretty sure that she's not worried about whether or not I'm fighting or what I'm doing.
Have you learned? Has she kind of learned? Have you learned a little bit what not to do, how not to get fame into your head? Don't keep your.
Yeah, I just feel like I think I learned a lot from her career, and I'm still continuing to learn a lot from it, inside and outside the cage.
That's good. I mean, because there aren't probably a lot to learn what to do and what not to do.
Definitely.
All right, so you're on Raya, you're training. Now, do you live alone?
No.
Who do you live with?
I bought this big, beautiful house, and one of my best friends, whose name is also Kayla, lives with me. And actually, we call it Kayla's home for wayward fighters and dogs because I have 2 dogs that I didn't buy or want, and I have 3 fighters living with me, and
You don't want them either?
it's just, yeah. What's
Nightmare Fight House. I've been there.
You've been there, right?
Oh, yeah.
that? Man, it's actually pretty nice. I mean, I love having
Exactly,
a
yeah.
full house. It's not a bad thing, but it's there's a lot of us here right now.
Especially when it's
crowded.
like a training camp situation, right?
So
You
her-
guys are all training.
Yeah, that's why I just stay in
getting
my
it.
room. This is
So her
my-
first
my
day, she
haven.
goes to American Top Team.
Yeah.
They put her against Amanda Nunes.
Yeah.
And Amanda Nunes kind of fucks her up on the feet, but she throws her on her ass and
Yeah.
just sits on her. She's fighting for her life.
Yeah.
Never sparred before
Yeah.
in her life. Throw her against her.
Yeah.
Nunez is like, who's that fucking crazy blonde girl? Bring her back. Because and then they became friends and sparring partners.
Yeah.
But if she
It's
takes
not
time-
entirely true. I had sparred before, just not
okay.
for that long.
Just not that level.
But-
Yeah.
but if
Yeah,
she's still,
no, I
if
mean,
she's-
I'd never gone. She's the champ. You know what I mean?
is
I'd
she
never
still
gone
training
against someone
though?
of
Is she
hers.
still there?
Yeah, she
Okay,
fights
so
next week, bro.
Oh, right. Good point. So she helped get you ready for your fight?
We didn't train a lot together this camp. She's fighting a striker, so she needed a lot more. She needed better strikers than me.
Got it.
I didn't, and I'm a southpaw, so a lot of people don't like training with me.
Now, are you a southpaw
It's all good.
because you're left-handed, or are you a southpaw because judo?
I'm a southpaw because I was a right-handed judo player,
Yeah.
and I always stood with my right foot forward.
So do you have some success with your like lead right hook, or like how's sparring go with striking, just apart from your grappling? Like how is your striking game
It's starting
developing?
to go good, actually. I'm starting to get comfortable, you know?
Yeah.
I think a big aid to that was in between camps, you know, I don't disappear from the gym. I keep training. So during that time, I do a lot of sparring with the amateur fighters at the gym, a lot of the amateur guys. Yeah. So just being able to see punches, being able to look at things, see things in a little bit slower motion than maybe a pro fighter would throw them, but still, you know, the amateur guys are terrified of me, so they are throwing for real.
As they should be.
Has really helped me. Has really helped me learn to relax, you know, on my feet and pick my shots and see things, develop my defense a lot better. So I'm feeling pretty good.
Did you watch Bully Beatdown when you were growing up?
What?
You ever watch Bully Beatdown?
Why do you always have to interject that all the time into every conversation?
I'm trying to get you a date here, okay?
Bro, listen.
Mayhem was in
I'm
jail.
gonna download the app.
He was in jail for a year and a half.
I see your ring.
Me? Yeah. Oh, I'm married. My life is
you.
over.
I'm not talking
to you. Yeah. Well, he's single though. You single?
Okay.
I'm not married.
Have you ever had Olympic level
sex? Yes, I have.
Really?
Adam, watch your tone here, young man.
Okay.
Watch your mouth.
With a wrestler.
Oh yeah. With a wrestler? You banged an Olympian wrestler?
Yeah.
Right?
Who? McMahon?
Look, relax,
Sarah
bro.
McMahon?
Why are you always in my pants? You're always in her pants.
I'm not.
You're always trying to
he's
inspect
obsessed.
everybody's.
He's like one of those gossip girls.
I know. You know what?
Because he's married, so he doesn't. Maybe because he's married, so he doesn't get laid.
He's done. He's got everybody kids screaming all the time.
I'm on TRT. I got laid 5 times last week. So yeah.
Yeah, he's on next level. He's on steroids right now.
It's been better.
He's just banging his wife with a steroided penis.
Yeah, well, meanwhile, she said she was coming to my show. Never showed up.
She never showed up?
Never showed. I had seats that said Kayla Harrison on them.
I didn't want to have to do this, but my mom had a brain aneurysm. So.
Damn.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry to hear that. I hope she gets better.
I'm sorry. Can I use that excuse when I don't go to things?
Well, stop making me feel like shit, dude.
I'm sorry. No, listen. I got nothing but love for you. I have so much respect for you. You have no idea. You gave me the finger. Jesus. I hope my daughter is just like you. Okay, lonely and on
my
ride.
mom's gonna be okay, so.
What? You are such a positive role model to women and men. You are absolutely.
Thanks.
And I'm happy that the PFL made a whole division for her.
Yeah.
There was no 50-50 behind women. They were like, we need a star, and they picked her. Is there pressure though because of that?
Nah.
No.
I mean,
bro, she's an Olympian. She went to the Olympics.
I was the first American to ever win a gold medal for my country, and then I went back 4 years later.
But you won 2-0. It wasn't that big of a. No, I'm kidding. Okay.
Idiot. he's trying to keep.
Why did I agree to this?
Yeah.
Why?
No idea.
I'm sorry. That's true. That is very true. You did win. You won twice. And
I'm kind of glad I didn't go to your show because I heard you were talking shit about all the fighters that went. And if you had talked shit about me, I'm like at that point where I would have just gotten up on the stage and like fucking
judo through his ass.
Shit. That would have went viral.
Yeah.
I would have got some hits on that one. No,
I could have gone viral.
Yeah. Oh, wait, was that your roommate the Kayla who came to my show? That's your roommate?
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked her. Yeah, because she was making out with her boyfriend the whole time during the show. Sid Outlaw.
Oh no, really?
Yeah, and then I called him out on it.
So Sydney basically lives here now too, and then we have another guy who's living here, and then I have a guy who's documenting my camp, so he's living here. So Kayla and Sydney, they make out a lot. It's pretty good.
My whole show. I'm like, dude, what's going on here? I'm like, are you guys cheating on each other? Like look like they were cheaters. Like this is the only time.
I know. They told me they were. I was so happy that you shit on them. That was awesome.
Of course, I like them.
But yeah, they're literally constantly down each other's throats. It's awesome. I love love. It's great.
You'll find love. You'll get there. Don't worry. Don't look. You're smart.
I'm not.
You don't just go for anybody. You're not a gym rat. You know. I heard you and Hector Lombard almost. No, I'm kidding.
ATT. My new rule is no more fighters.
Now you and your grandma were on Flea Market Flip.
Were you really?
What is flea market flip, and why were you and your grandma on that?
Flea Market Flip is this show on HGTV, and it's where two partners, like, they go to a flea market, they give you like things that you have to turn stuff into. They give you a $500 budget, and then you have to transform these things into other things, and then you go sell them at another flea market, and whichever team makes the most money wins the Flea Market Flip Challenge. And normally you win $5,000, but we donated to the charities of our choice.
Oh, that was nice.
It was between myself and Nancy Kerrigan, myself and my mama. So I wasn't going to do it, but my agent called me. He said, "Hey, have you ever heard of this show, Flea Market Flip?" I said, "No, but my grandmother loves flea markets."
Awesome.
So let me call her. So I called my mama, and she was just like, "Oh my God, baby doll, that's my favorite show. I watch it every Wednesdays at 4 p.m. And I was like, "Well, how would you like to be on it?" And she just started crying. She was like, "Bless you, bless you. Oh my God, bless you."
Was she happier than when you won the Olympics? Was she happier about being on Flea Market Flip than when you won the gold?
No, way happier about Flea Market Flip, for sure. Way happier.
That was a solid Mima impression, too. I mean,
wow. That's
Yeah.
And her mom was also a black belt in judo. Her mom was a black belt.
Oh,
too.
yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
What does that have to do with the first
Did you and your mom ever... Yeah, of
Yeah.
course, ADD. Did you and your mom ever tag team against Rhonda and her mom? Did you guys ever have like mother-daughter gym wars?
No.
Man, I'd like to promote that match. That
think so?
sounds
My
pretty
mom
awesome.
just had a brain aneurysm.
Oh, yeah, your brain aneurysm. She'll probably have another one after
now.
hearing this podcast.
Yeah.
I'm not going to send her the link to this one, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah, don't do
I
that.
don't want my mom to know I'm on a dating app. I don't want anyone to know I'm on a dating app. That's embarrassing.
What was that? Now,
anyways,
have you...
what other questions do you have for me?
Okay. After you win the PFL, right? Are you going to call out Gabby Garcia?
Why would I?
I don't know, because she's big and strong.
Okay.
And I don't know. I think it'll be a big fight. You think it'll be a big fight?
Is she relevant? Like, is that like a...
I don't know. I thought
I just do my job.
All right. No more questions. Okay, so
I've ever had.
how hard is it for you to make 45?
I mean, I walk around at like 160 to 165, so I could do it.
But I'm
hypoglycemic.
What's
that?
Like something about a sugar.
It's like when you have low blood sugar.
Yeah.
Low blood sugar.
So yeah.
But I mean, I could do it. It's just, I don't believe in cutting weight. I don't believe the message it sends to kids. I don't believe that it's safe to do in our sport. What keeps your brain safe? What cushions your brain? Water. What do most of these fighters do before they fight? They dehydrate their bodies, 30 pounds of water, and then 24 hours later they step in a cage and have people punching them in the face. I just don't think that's safe. I think it's super dangerous and super unhealthy. I was always taught that if you're going to win at whatever weight you fight.
I'm the same way. The reason I quit wrestling in college because of weight cutting. So I think too many kids quit because of that.
It's super unhealthy. It's dangerous. It's really dangerous with what we do. You're literally dehydrating your body, sucking out all of the water. So you're sucking out all of the protection from your brain. That's dangerous.
Are you with her?
Yeah, I'm with you on that. It's really difficult, but when money's involved, everybody wants to get the most advantage that they can. So yeah, I mean, you're right.
I just think that you see a trend. A lot of fighters are moving up. I hope it continues. I hope 10 years from now there are way more female weight classes. Will I fight 145 pounds for the right money? You're absolutely right. Of course I would. But that doesn't mean I'm going to enjoy it or.
Yeah, but after this fight, I mean, look, if you win this fight, $1 million. I mean, when you win this fight, $1 million.
Win this fight.
Okay. So, I mean, how motivated are you by money after that? Because I mean, look, your foundation.
I mean, money's never been my motivation.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. So, why would you be even more motivated to fight at 145 when you have a comfortable weight class?
Well, I mean, if they're going to talk to me about generational changing money, then okay, that's one thing. I know my worth, so
yeah,
and I know what 145 pounds is worth to me. But I just signed a new contract with the PFL. I'm staying there for another year. I'm pretty pumped about that. It's a company I truly believe in and support. They're literally trying to change the game. It's a lot less about, you know,
How many
the
followers you have?
promotional, gimmicky side of it and the entertainment side of it. And it's a lot more sport based, which, listen, to me, MMA is a sport. It's mixed martial arts and a sport. So it's, you know, should be rooted in respect, should be rooted in the culture of martial arts. And if they want to be big time and they want to be like the NFL and the NBA and the MLB, then it needs to be more sport based.
I feel the exact same way, Kayla. So what's going on with Colby Covington and Masvidal at the gym? Is everything okay there?
Everything's okay, guys.
I heard they clear out Colby's team, and then Masvidal comes in, and they clear out Masvidal. It's like West Side Story.
Masvidal hasn't been at the gym. He's like on his promotional tour doing some stuff, and Colby fights next weekend, so he's training. I just trained with Colby the other day. We have the same strength coach. He seems in great spirits. Everything seems fine. The drama has really died down. I haven't seen anything.
Okay.
No antics.
Okay.
I'm the team captain, so it's my job to make sure that these things are handled properly.
You're the captain?
Hell
Nice.
yeah.
When are you coming out to LA, Captain?
Hopefully never.
Oh wow! Damn, I was gonna say I could bring you to my middle school kids, and you could. We have a great girl on the team. You could be our guest coach for the day.
Oh, I would like that. What's her name?
Her name is Billy. She's jiu-jitsu. She's an ace. She's gonna win the whole thing this year. There's only 3 teams in the league. But
Nice.
she's gonna win.
Good luck, Billy.
She's awesome. So
Cool.
yeah, I want you to meet my daughter and my wife.
Someday. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, I'll have to go to LA if I want to make it big time, right? So
You're already making it big time.
Yeah, you're here.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Yeah, you're on the
You
podcast.
made it on this show.
Yeah.
So, I mean, really,
Thanks,
this is probably
guys.
the zenith of your career.
So
right
if
here.
you were gonna take her on a date, where would you take her?
You know what?
What?
I would take her I would take her to Skid Row. We would hand out donuts to the kids down there.
Really?
Yeah, I think she could help me change my image.
She could help you.
Yeah,
change
she
your
would
image?
definitely help me. Yeah.
So okay, so you make sure people take
She's a
pictures. of you
Perfect
guys.
sweetheart.
Yeah,
That's
she's
nice
great.
of you.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the day,
I mean, she's just, I mean, kind of like, look, before you even, I can hear a joke coming.
no, at the end of the date, would you go for a kiss or would you be kind of reserved?
I mean, I would probably shoot for double underhooks. I mean, immediately. And try to avoid the inside trip, you know what I mean? Or Haraya Ghosh. Like, I don't
So-
want to get sleeve throw. I wouldn't
He's
wear this
got
jacket.
2 judo throw names, and one he's been like, oh.
Well, you don't
Jose, and
understand. I started out in judo.
He's
Like, my career.
dropping knowledge.
Yeah, I know judo.
So
back
you
and
would
forth.
go for underhooks?
Yeah,
and then,
underhooks for sure. And I wouldn't wear a jacket. I'd want to go like sleeveless. Well, what would you think about like a mixed martial arts match? Because I'm trying to set this up. What would you think a martial arts match with kind of a modified gi? To like, how would you think that would go? Like, would you be interested in doing something like that? With with strikes, but also with like a jacket. Like there's. I know it's strange.
who would beat her
I
in
would
that?
kill some.
Nobody would beat her
that.
in that. That's
I mean,
why I want to make this
Her
match
versus
for
like
her.
her versus
literally-
Ishii or something.
Yeah.
So okay. So all right. So you go. You guys go on a date. You hand out donuts to the homeless.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Then at the end of the date, you got double underhooks.
Yeah.
And you don't go for a kiss.
I mean, obviously I'll try, but look how strong her neck is. She'd probably headbutt me to
But
death.
that's insulting to her. How do you not? I mean,
I would try to kiss her, but like I look.
I
I
don't
think that
kiss on a first date. I don't kiss on a first
exactly,
date.
go.
exactly,
I'm
and
pretty
I
old
didn't
school.
think you did
No, I'm
because I'm a
shy.
classy
I'm
gentleman.
shy.
you're shy. Okay. So that's okay. So then so the second
I
date.
take things slow.
Slow.
Second
You're
date.
ridiculous.
Depends on how the first date goes, if there's even a second date.
Wow. Now, one of her fights, she wins every round, 30-27, 30-26, and then starts crying because she didn't knock the girl out. And she goes, I gave myself a D, which I'm sure other guys when I give her a D. But now,
She's a competitor.
So, and I know you're a competitor, but is there a fear of not being too hard on yourself?
Hard on.
No.
No?
No.
Sorry.
No. It's okay. You guys are really mature.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
No. No, I mean, I expect excellence from myself. Every day I wake up, I want to be the best possible version of myself, inside the cage, outside the cage, in all aspects of my life. That's what motivates me. That's what keeps me hungry. That's what keeps me going. And I'll never be satisfied with mediocre. And that's why I'm special.
Hell yeah. That's like, man, she is a role model for the kids. She's a role model for humankind.
All right.
Yeah.
Girls, don't put out the first night. Okay, be like Kayla.
Yeah.
That should be your
Don't
catchphrase.
even kiss them. You can give them a hug.
Kayla
That's
doesn't
it.
put out on the first date Harrison. You don't think that should be like your new nickname?
Well,
No
when I first started
smoochies.
MMA, everyone would call me two-time Olympic champ. But I was like, guys, that sounds really bad. Like two-time, like I'm
Sounds like
two-time
you're cheating
somebody. So
and
can we
guys.
change that?
Yeah. So they changed it like threesome? Yeah, you can't.
Good Lord.
Yeah, I'm just.
I
All right.
can't believe she's still on, bro.
I know.
I would have
Listen,
hung up on
I
you.
can't either.
I would have hung up on
I
you
can't
too.
believe I
Listen,
wasted this much
Kayla,
time.
I'm a big fan. I'm gonna be rooting for you. Can I get a Kayla Harrison T-shirt somewhere? Or can I support you?
Yeah, you guys, if anyone wants to support me, Fujisports.com sells Kayla Harrison tees, and all of the profits go to my foundation.
Yeah, and wait, what's your foundation? Because I feel it's like you need to plug that because that's a fantastic thing you're doing.
So my foundation is called the Fearless Foundation. It is for survivors of sexual abuse, child sexual abuse. I was sexually abused by my first judo coach. So I wrote a book. It's called Fighting Back. You can get that on Amazon or pretty much anywhere on the internet. And the book is a educational tool on how we can try and stop sexual abuse from happening in our society. It uses my story. I kept journals all throughout my ordeal. So it's myself and two psychiatrists. And we talk to you about what grooming is and why kids stay quiet and how do you approach your kids and how do you have this conversation and, what is the court process like, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Wow.
And we also give you a little bit of hope because there is a shiny gold medal at the end of the tunnel. There is hope at the end of it. So we want, survivors to go from just being survivors to really thriving. So that's what the Fearless Foundation does. That's the
You're
first
an
part of it
amazingly
anyways.
brave
There's-
woman. I mean, that's
2 gold medals.
fantastic. 2 gold medals. I mean, and that's just on top now a burgeoning MMA career. You hats off to you. Like you're awesome. Like I'm a huge fan. I was a fan before, but
Wow,
now I'm
thank
just huge fan now.
Well, thank you, Kayla.
Thanks, guys.
Hey,
Next time we do this, you gotta let me know ahead of time that it's gonna be video, because then I'll actually make an effort. And
You look
No,
beautiful.
you look great. You look beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, you look great. For real. Like, I would definitely, if I saw you on Raya, I'd swipe right.
Yeah.
thank you guys so much for having me. Have a blessed day.
Bye, Kayla.
Peace out.
Goodbye.
Bye.
She hates you now, bro.
Come on.
I hate you now.
Why do you hate me?
Dirtbag.
Come on.
You totally. I don't know. You just like rip roaring took that woman on a ride. Oh my god. I don't know. Whatever. You're just you, bro. Like everyone loves you.
Yeah.
Because they expect you to just say just dumb shit all
She's-
the time. Asking her weird sex, trying to hook me up with her. What's wrong with you?
You wouldn't go on a date with that girl?
Well.
What? You have your own problems?
Yeah. No, I hear you.
No, I don't know. She's awesome. I respect and admire her, and I like Kayla.
She's badass.
She's a cool
yeah,
chick.
for sure.
I hope she wins.
I think she might, huh? I mean, more than likely she will, right? Am I
There's always
wrong?
that fear of getting caught, right?
Of course,
especially
yeah.
when you know.
But is the girl like a knockout puncher for real?
The girl's a Brazilian who started MMA when she was 16 to raise money for her family, and they threw her into the UFC early.
Yeah.
She lost to Amanda Nunes and Jermaine Durandame, but won every other one of her fights except to Kayla, and she just has a win over Sarah Kaufman.
Oh, okay.
Kaufman was the number 1 seed.
Yeah.
She beat Kaufman pretty handily. So this girl's no joke.
Yeah, but this is a different beast right here.
This is a
woman,
different
this
beast.
woman, she's
All
got
kinds
that
of strength.
Man, those takedowns are, you know what I mean, like solid. And when she's on top, and her punches, oh my God.
Yeah,
And she just hammers chicks, you know what I mean? I'd seen it. It was pretty wild.
Yeah. I'm gonna write thank you to her. I like her a lot too. I hope she didn't get offended. You think she got offended?
Dude, you offend everyone. It's like, it's called MMA Roasted. It's not exactly the You know what I mean? This ain't the nice guy podcast.
All right, let's talk about some of the other fights coming up before we get to Jamie Kilstein. Conor versus Cowboy.
Yeah. I think that's a tough ass fight for Conor.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't think a wrestler would be harder because he seems
I think it's a better matchup for the fans for sure. It's more exciting, but I just think that man, it's not.
Cowboy's coming off 2 losses.
He is
Gaethje, and then I think he lost when he blew his eye out. He fought Ferguson. I think you were locked up. He had a broken nose.
Yeah.
And he like blew it out.
Yeah.
And then his eyes swole up.
Yeah, that happens.
And then that was the end of the fight.
Oh, really?
They called it. It was pretty close for that. I mean, Ferguson was getting the best of him.
Yeah.
But it wasn't out of left field where you're like, wait, I could see Cowboy catching him. It was a solid fight. And then
that's
people
why I'm
said
saying
he blew
it's
his
such
nose on purpose.
Nah.
I don't think he did.
No, you just do that like by reflex, and then it's happened to me before where like I got my nose busted and then I like blew my nose and then whoops,
Against
like
who?
my eye just swells up. Nah, in training, and it's just natural reaction when you have all this gunk in your nose to go. And so he didn't do that on purpose. The guy's a beast. Like he's
a beast of a guy. I mean, look, he did not look very good against Justin Gaethje in his last fight, which was but at the same time, he's going to get a lot of money for this fight.
Yeah.
He's a guy that he's a weird guy in the sense that like he's been beating guys. This guy Hernandez who just came out from knocking out Beneil Dariush. This guy looked like a world beater. And they put him up against Cowboy, and everyone was like, "Oh God!" And Cowboy fucked him up.
Yeah. Well, because Cowboy is such a veteran, he has like such a variety of techniques. Like he has like a different game plan for different guys. And that's something that most guys can't do, especially younger guys. Like younger guys have a problem with doing a variety of different strategies. But
Well, while you were away, he left Jackson's camp.
Yeah.
And
really?
Yeah, and basically said that went off on Jackson's camp.
Really?
Said that the place has become like a 24-hour fitness where for $100 you can roll with Holly Holm. That
really?
He went off on the wrestling coach Israel Martinez. I think it was Izzy. He went off on and he started his own thing. He had a kid, and then just started like fucking everyone up. It was like Dad Cowboy. It was a whole different guy. Started talking about taking DMT and going on Rogan and saying he almost drowned but then didn't, and just like, but it was a whole different fighter. And beat Mike Perry. You know who Mike Perry is? Mike Perry is this like tattooed, just like muscle throwback guy that just tries to knock you out, has like eyebrow tattoos and just always using the N-word, but he's white, but he says he's 5% African American because on Ancestry.com, just a real guy.
What percentage before you could use it?
I don't know, like
just a G.
Guy isn't the word. He's
just kind of a gangster.
Kind of people like him. People like he's sort of a throwback to like the old UFC's tough guy competition kind of guy.
Yeah.
So he was. Jackson was training him. Winklejohn was training Mike Perry against Cowboy.
Yeah.
Cowboy submitted him 1 round.
Nice.
But
that's what I'm talking about. Strategy. He has different strategies.
Yeah. But it was also a different motivation. At Gaethje, he didn't look like himself. And Gaethje, basically, he knocked out Gaethje when they were training back in the day. And Gaethje had something to prove. It was a young Gaethje and an experienced Cowboy. Against Conor, I don't know, because you don't know what Conor's going to show up.
Well, I mean, it's going to be Conor, and it's at 170, right?
170.
That's another thing.
Who does that help?
Cowboy, man. Cowboy is naturally a bigger dude, so like, he's going to be taller. He's going to be, you know what I mean? Like, it's just as much muscle as Conor is packing on. I think that, look, it's no easy fight by any means. I just think there's a slight advantage towards Cowboy.
Really?
Because of the 170.
I want Cowboy to win. I like Cowboy.
But I
just get nervous that...
And the chin is a factor, you know what I mean? Like, there's been a lot more wars Cowboy has fought.
And he's been knocked out a lot more.
That's what I'm saying.
Down. I mean, Conor has never really been hurt. I mean, Nate Diaz hurt him, but he subbed him.
Yeah.
And it was more like he was tired in that fight, kind of. And sort of like he out-toughed him. Mm-hmm.
I mean, but like,
Khabib
you're forgetting that Conor got
dropped.
TKO'd by damn Mayweather. I mean, you don't think that wears on him a little bit? I think it does. I think that's
he got
wear on
TK'd,
him.
but he was almost like exhausted.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was also something weird in that fight too, where he hit him Mayweather with a body shot, and Mayweather said it was a low blow.
I remember.
But it didn't seem like
I
it
know.
was low.
No, that's just the boxing way. Like, that's what you do. Like, any chance you get and take to get a breather, you do. Like, guys do that all the time.
But I kind of wonder, like, had that not been called a low blow, if that was a knockdown, how that fight would have ended in some alternate universe.
Right.
So many of those fucking things. That anyway. All right. So I hope Cowboy
So what, you
wins.
think Conor wins?
I hope Cowboy wins. I just don't.
You hope Cowboy wins.
I hope Cowboy wins. I like Cowboys.
I love how you're just blatantly, like, not, you're just like.
Don't pick
give your-
people?
Yeah, you give your favorites. You're like, I hope this guy wins.
I know, because it's like, my fear is that Conor's going to win.
I think Conor can win for sure. I think the slight advantage should, on paper, go to Cowboy. It depends on who shows up that day. It's
You don't
always
think
like
that Conor's been a younger, less worn, fresher version, even though, I don't know, maybe the cocaine and the party nights have caught up to him.
Maybe.
I mean, no one would know better than you when it comes to that. I mean,
Yeah,
you're 35 going on 80 in party years.
But it's, who knows? It depends on how Conor's training camp goes. And I'm sure we'll get some insight into that, right? They're going to do some type of,
By the way, Kayla Harrison says, "You're funny. You picked a good profession." No
Nice.
problem. Thank you. Okay, so that was good. 'Cause I was actually worried for a second she might hang up on me, and I was like, I don't want to.
I was telling her to hang up. I was
I don't want
like
this
trying to get her to hang up on
The
you.
only person that ever really got mad at me was Kat Zingano, because we didn't tell her what kind of show it was. And I think I asked her if she got like finger banged a lot in college. Some fucking ridiculous question that I was like, looking back, was like, why did I ask her that question? But then we became friends. She came to a comedy show, super cool, and we laughed about it,
Congrats.
Yeah.
Way to go, Adam.
Way. Someone doesn't hate me. All right. So Zhang Weili, she's this girl from China,
Oh, yeah. this lady.
undefeated.
Yeah, she's a
knocked
beast,
out
huh?
Jessica Andrade in
Yeah.
40 seconds.
Yeah.
Is fighting Joanna Jędrzejczyk. Or they're saying they both agreed to it. I don't know. This girl looks unbeatable right now.
Yeah. But that's the magic, right? When you only have a few fights and you're always knocking everybody out, there's always somebody to throw the monkey wrench in the system. But yeah, it's cool to have her like riding this damn wave of
Well, it's good
popularity.
for China and the UFC because that's such a huge market, and they haven't had a Chinese superstar ever.
Are you afraid to like talk bad about China? Because I feel like I have an anxiety. Like I don't want to, just in case I go out there.
Well, I
and
mean,
have,
Japan had Sakuraba, right? He was like,
Yeah.
he was the guy.
yeah.
Korea, who has the Korean Zombie.
Yeah.
I guess he'd be the guy.
Yeah.
China, which is a lot bigger,
China is like a huge like.
but they've
moneymaker
never had.
for corporations.
It seems like the Chinese top team guys don't match up against. Maybe it's, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the.
What do you mean? It's
the training and the
It's the
food
training.
and everything else, but
It's a training like they don't they don't have the level of training like back in the day. What was it? Brazil was the epic epicenter of martial arts pretty much, or like practical martial arts, like actually useful martial arts. So back when the UFC first started going and MMA started taking off, the top champions were all from Brazil because they already had a framework of training and working out. And then as America started picking up, I remember when I was starting, we were like inventing ways to train pretty much because there was no
But how did
Jackson.
Now, how did you deal with the Gracies and guys that you know that you're going to encounter for the
Yeah, you like it was all like counter submission training. Like you would put yourself in a armbar and then get out. And it's not like you had access. Like now you have access to black belts and you can go to different camps and train. But back in the day, you had to like improvise because nobody at this gym is a black belt in jiu-jitsu. So, okay, put me in an armbar and I'm going to try to get out. Put me in a choke and I'm going to try to get out. So, really, my experience was getting really good at escapes because, we didn't
Were you
have-
making it up?
I mean,
escapes?
yes, a little bit, but there were some, we would watch the Gracie tapes that we had. We would watch those, we would start to get it going early on, like by pre-YouTube of how to do things. Like they were,
but China,
we were emulating them but yeah, you're right. Now China has the access to YouTube and whatnot, but still, there's a difference between kind of starting from scratch and doing the best you can with the tapes and having quality instructors.
They also don't look as physical. Big as and maybe I don't know, it's genetics or whatever, but
or the Beijing air quality.
Like the college wrestlers that come out of the U.S. and a lot of these guys look like Chad. What's his name?
Just Chad is enough.
Team Alpha Male. Chad.
Chippendecker.
Chad Mendez.
Yeah.
You get these guys, these mini fucking guys. You're
Hulks.
just like mini Hulks.
Yeah.
The Uriah Faber. I mean, Uriah Faber when his shirt off, you're like, whoa.
Let's look at what the Chinese dudes are starting with. It's like there's a genetic factor in there, but there's also a training factor. Like these guys are probably not wrestling from a young age. They're probably doing the traditional martial arts first.
Right, they're doing karate.
And then stepping into mixed martial arts.
I mean, some guys do have that genetic look, but they stand out.
Yeah.
Whereas the American guys don't stand out. Like you put on any LFA fight event, you're like, you'll see guys with like a six pack, and you're like, not that always translates to MMA, but it just seems like the Chinese guy, and not to, people are gonna shit on me for this, but I'm not trying to insult Asian people. It just seems like they're starting with a little bit of a they're not as good, they're not as well built or strong or whatever, and. Yeah. I don't know what that.
Look, I mean, that's the reality. You know what I mean? Like that everybody starts out with a different, set of tools, and what you make of them is, what makes a champion. It's everybody is different. That's the beauty of the sport, is that every individual fighter is a different type of, has a different body type. And what you do with that is the beauty of the sport.
So it's nice to see this girl who seems like a very sweet woman as well, and a nice person. I don't really know her, but it's weird when you translate it, because the translator seems like sometimes you're like, I want to say hello, or you're like, that's not
very respectful.
But I want to see her versus Joanna, because Joanna for a while was the shit. I mean, before Rose Namajunas came around and beat her twice. I mean, knocked her out the first time, which it's funny because when I met Pat Barry, he was like, dude, when I held pads for Rose, he was like, this is a different animal right here. And I was like, and this is Pat Barry. This is a 260 pound guy. So when he's a kickboxing, like a really good kickboxer.
Yeah.
So when he's telling me this girl's got power, I was like, whoa. And then so I was not that surprised when she knocked out Joanna, because I think Joanna was started to believe her own hype. It seemed like when she first came to the UFC, she was just, and then all of a sudden her entrances got bigger and the weigh-ins, and she was casting spells on people and had poems and everything else, which was great and all, but you still gotta the fighting should come first. Yeah. You can't just be a little too full of yourself. And they always say in anything, comedy, don't believe your own hype. Don't read your own press. And that, I think Joanna got a little carried away. But I think she definitely has she could pose a problem for this girl, because she does have that kickboxing background and that striking background. And I think her background in striking is better than, at least on paper. I mean, she was. Well,
that's why they made the fight. When I see with that, like the interesting thing about that is that when it's two people who are like maybe equal kickboxers, it's funny because the grappling comes into play. Who's slightly a better grappler and can like not get tired, and then still keep their form sharp afterwards. So that'll be interesting to see.
So speaking of jiu-jitsu, before we get to the fights this week, which is a lot of good ones, Overeem's fighting and Thiago Alves, all these guys are fighting, and then also there's other fights coming up. UFC Fight Pass Quintet. It's 3-on-3 jiu-jitsu now.
What?
And they're going back. They have Strikeforce versus the UFC versus like Pride, guys from Pride.
Really?
Yeah. And it seems pretty. You might want to go into this.
Weird. I didn't hear anything about it. I guess I missed
Fight Pass
that one.
Does the worst job in market. I'm like, there's so much cool shit on Fight Pass. Huh. They have like bare knuckle, but they dip their hands in like
glue and glass.
Yeah, some kind of like the craziest shit. You're like, well, this exists, but you don't know it. Because but anyway, let's talk to a guy, Jamie Kilstein. Let's call him right now. So here's a guy and I want to say this when he's here because I want to make it seem like he's a comedian. Comedians are like, I guess in a way like fighters, and like we all share a common brotherhood amongst comedians. Like I'll never, like even like Brendan Schaub, the reason I don't fuck with him, like roast him at all. Number one, he's sensitive. He blocked me on Twitter for making one joke about him, which was like, this guy needs to work on his stand-up. So he's obviously more evolved than Brendan Schaub. Something like real softball. And I'm like, you're going to block me about that? Like that's, come on, man. Like,
I mean,
it was something like,
isn't he a feminist?
But like everyone needs to work on their stand-up. It was not like I need to work on my stand-up. Everybody, there's not like fucking Chappelle needs to work on his stand-up. Everyone, that's what you do. You work on your stand-up. That's part of being a stand-up comic. So he blocked me because of that. So I'm like, whatever. But I don't fuck with Chow because he's a comic now. And so Kilstein's also a comedian, but has a very interesting backstory. So is he on? All right. Come on, Jamie. Log on now. Log on now.
So what are we going to talk to this guy about?
So he's starting a jiu-jitsu podcast, and he reached out to me and wants to promote the podcast on this podcast. And I said, of course, because I like Jamie. So he's a guy that he was a great comic. I'll wait till he gets on. All right. Let's talk about some facts. All right. So this week, first of all, John Jones versus Dominic Reyes got announced. Reyes, the guy that knocked out Weidman, undefeated guy. He's fighting John Jones, I think in
When's that?
January, I think in Houston.
Damn, that's quick.
Jones is talking a little shit about him on Twitter, but not really.
Jones all over Israel.
These two are going at it.
Why? It's like some black guy anger. Like those dudes are like, oh, why? What is it about? They're in different weight classes. I don't get it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I don't know why
maybe he
Jones
sees it as a super fight.
Maybe, huh? He's trying to pick on the lighter weight dude. It's interesting.
I mean, the thing about Jones is like,
did his job.
You wonder if he goes to heavyweight, would he beat Stipe?
That's difficult to tell, but I mean, it's possible. That's for sure.
Right?
Is he going to go to heavyweight? Is that what you're telling me?
I'm saying that like the fact that he's picking on a guy lighter. I mean, if he's going to pick on someone, pick on Stipe. That's a fight that like I'd really want to see, and I think you might give him the fucking advantage. 240-pound John Jones, he's got the speed advantage. He's got the wrestling. Well, the wrestling is pretty even. Yeah. I know that Stipe was a college wrestler, but Jones was a state champ and also a junior college national champion, I believe, before he left. The striking, the creativity you got to give to John Jones. Straight boxing, Stipe.
Yeah.
MMA IQ, I would give to Jones. Yeah. I mean, he seems to outdo whatever the fuck. I mean, he beat Cormier twice. If you do MMA math, Stipe's 1-1 against Cormier. Got knocked out against Cormier. And Cormier had faster hands than Stipe. So then, I mean, would you give Jones the advantage over Stipe?
Yeah. I mean, I would give... that weight, though, will become a factor, later on in the fight. Because we've seen Jones get tired. He's human, even though he's a beast. Here's our guy right now.
But he got tired when he was like doing ecstasy with hookers the week of the fight.
That's true.
Not even you did that.
Yeah, ecstasy and hookers will definitely wear you out. That's for sure.
So we're talking to Jamie Kilstein.
Speaking of ecstasy and hookers, that was a great segue.
Jamie Kilstein, I was telling you. So a little backstory on Jamie. Jamie was a great comic. He went to Montreal Comedy Festival. He was one of the top guys. He was on Conan O'Brien. He was a comic to watch. Didn't get to where he wanted as fast as he could. Fell in love with a girl who was like this like far left feminist social justice warrior. Jamie and her did a podcast that blew up. Jamie started sort of attacking comedians, was mad at comics for not giving him love, went after me a little bit. All these like comics, he was like then #1 most hated comic in the world. Then him and the girl broke up. They had an open relationship. He was fucking some fans. And then it was like, aha, got you. Then the whole comedy world turned on him. Rogan had his disaster on Rogan. He was like suicidal, blah, blah, blah. Then he reached out to me. I'm like, Jamie, whatever. I put him on things. We did a couple podcasts. He built himself back up, was training as a brown belt in jiu-jitsu under Marcelo Garcia. Then fell in love again, moved to Arizona, became a pro wrestler, still does jiu-jitsu, and now has a podcast. And I think is doing well in doing stand-up comedy. Did I get it all right?
Yeah. I really missed the days where my intro was funny man Jamie Kilstein. That was it. instead of you may recognize this guy from his tragic downfall that has been spiraling out of control for the last decade and a half.
Well,
But yeah, man, that's fucking it.
But so last time I saw you, you fell in love, and you moved to Arizona. Are you guys still together?
We are.
Wow.
She just left to go grocery shopping. How about that?
What was that?
She just left to go grocery shopping.
Oh,
We're
wow. Okay, so that's good. So that's a big plus because I had my doubts. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, the big debate with me with this was things were so chaotic that I was scared that I just was so excited I found a nice girl who wants to settle down that I was kind of like almost rebelling to like my old on the road life, by just being like, all right, I just want to do this because I want dating to be done. I want one night stands to be done. I just want to like settle. And it's not. Yeah, it's really good, man. I mean, look, we moved to fucking Tucson, Arizona, which I'd never been to before, and everything is better. I'm getting more comedy gigs. I'm writing more. I'm doing more jiu-jitsu. And I think that even though LA is kind of the place to be, I think if you find somewhere that actually makes you happy, you'll find a way to make your creative shit work.
I'm so proud of you, man. I'm so happy for you because I was like, you got me into when I was training at Henzo. I was taking your class, which is awesome because we were learning like Shawn Michaels kicks as well as like just crazy stuff. He was actually getting me better at taking punches because I would flinch when I got hit, and he was just like had me stand there while people punched me in the face. But it was
that's right. I didn't let you move that one day.
Yeah. So that was awesome, and I'm happy. I see you and Anthony Burchek, who's also an ex-UFC fighter. He's now fighting for Combate. You guys are training all the time together.
Yeah, man, he's the fucking best. I mean, that's the thing again. I never thought I would find this in Arizona. I didn't even know what gym was out here. I've never trained 10th Planet. I knew Eddie through Rogan. And the whole 10th Planet ethos, I really like. It's a real punk rock origin story about, this guy that everybody talked shit about. Went over and he pissed a lot of people off because he beat this legend. And, I always thought he was going to be an asshole, but he was actually, if you watch the footage after he beats Royler Gracie, he is crying and he looks surprised that he won, and he's incredibly humble and he's hugging Joe. And then he got a lot of shit and people didn't want him to open this school. And now he has this empire. And what's cool about Burchek, I still don't play a lot of the 10th Planet game, like Rubber Guard and stuff. But what's cool about Burchek is he's an MMA guy and he's a wrestler. So it's like this it's 10th Planet shit, but it's also wrestling and still trying to be on top and stay in dominant position and not just sit to your butt, which is really cool. But also, man, like I've never been supported like as a friend this much. I mean, I headlined the Tempe Improv and these guys brought a fucking posse down and drove 2 hours to come watch and then known me for like 2 weeks. Like Burchek brought his fucking mom. And this was the first time where like, I don't know. I feel like I never felt like I love the guys at Henzo's, but I always felt like people are mad at me and I was kind of tiptoeing around. And this place is it's one of those gyms. Like if you tap a higher belt, they ask you to teach it instead of like shun you. Do you know what I mean?
Is that your experience too?
Yeah. I mean, obviously like, there's like some type of, there's always like egos in gyms, but like when you find a place where people check their ego, and just roll. And if you catch somebody, it's, it's like, that sounds like you're in a positive place.
Did anybody ever get mad at you for like tapping them and then want to fight you?
Yeah. Like when I was like a blue belt, like I was like tapping out the black belt sometimes and they would get fired up a little bit. But, the head coach would always kind of like, that's just Jason.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it's like one of those things where they moved me up after that. You know, like
didn't Coleman and Baroni get mad at you, or like you tapped them with a body triangle or something?
No, yeah, I kept heel hooking them because they're wearing the damn shoes, and yeah, they were getting all fired up about that. Yeah, they were screaming each other's face. The fucking, I'm trying to get out of it, but he keeps getting me in it. Like they were just fucking raging out of their face. It was great.
Were you laughing when that happened?
Yeah, I was giggling. I was like, "What the hell is this?" Everybody else was scared, but you know, I guess I grew up in a culture of abuse, so to me it was hilarious.
How did you do against a guy like Mark Munoz, like a national champion wrestler? I think 2 times over, 3 times. Was it? I mean, coming from a jiu-jitsu background, did that just fuck you up, or?
No, I like matched up well against him. I'd catch him a lot because, you know, he'd make the classic wrestler mistakes, you know, like turn your back, give up your back, or, you know, give your neck during a takedown. So yeah, that during that era, you know, the training was real good. But we helped each other become better a lot because I became a better wrestler because of him, and he got better at you know, submission defense and
what about a guy like King Mo, like that kind of athleticism?
Yeah, that guy is a freak because like during our training sessions, he you know, it was similar, but he had this weird, you know, I mean, the man's hands just so big. Like the dude, like could, when he wrapped around your wrist, he could like touch his own hands, no problem. Like that's how long his fingers were. And so he presented specific challenges.
He used to brag about beating you.
He really?
I used to read articles like in
Fight too.
Magazine.
Oh, really?
And he'd be like, ask Mayhem how our training sessions went or something.
He did beat my ass a few times, but I was, you know, on a weight class under him. And like, you know, I gave him the business a few times too. So, you know, we were, it's hard to train.
You see this guy and you're like, oh, I would kill this fucking nerdy, vegan, fucking obnoxious comedian.
Fucking take it down.
But then I would watch him in training, and he was a fucking animal. Like he's that little fucking guy that just gets your neck and I mean, like even when you came in backed out one day after you left, people were talking about you, and Henzo's like, fucking Jamie fucking cranked my neck. Like he's that little fucking guy, like Wasp or like Ant-Man that just fucking gets around you and just starts strangling you, and you're like, what the and all his anger for not being a bigger comic comes out, and just starts fucking
I always whisper before I choke someone out, book me back on Rogan, and then I just watch them.
But seriously, I mean, you're definitely like people don't know how much you can fuck people up.
Well, I think that like a lot of people get better. Whenever I'm like coaching white belts or blue belts, I always talk about the reason I got decent at jiu-jitsu is because I didn't tap anybody till I was a blue belt. Like I just got my ass kicked for years because I didn't have attributes. I was like this scrawny vegan. I started at like 28, so I was older than a lot of the guys. And I started at Marcelo's. Like when I was in high school, I did MMA stuff. And so I was probably in like 2000, and I assumed my coach was a blue belt. I assumed I was a blue belt because like for that school, I was doing well. 10 years pass. I go to Marcelo's and I was like, you know what? I'm probably a blue belt, but I'm going to be like humble and go in as like a white belt. And then I'll get like promoted really fast. And like, dude, day one, I'm just getting the shit kicked out of me. And I'm like, I'm a white belt. I'm a fucking white belt. And then I got submitted every single day. And 2 things will happen. Someone will either, if that happens to them on their first day, they'll either quit and be like, well, if I could like kick in the nuts or bite, it would be different. And they'll sign up for like Krav Maga. Or you learn how to be technical. And you just accept that getting your ass kicked is part of it. And so I was like, I'm not going to be stronger than anyone. I'm not going to be faster than anyone. How can I use like my old man, like intellect, or how can I find tricks or be more technical, you know? And so that's why I got good. And people get so frustrated in like those first 3 or 4 years, or when you just get your blue belt or whatever. But really it's like the more you're getting your ass kicked, you have the potential every time you get your ass kicked to get better from that. It's like if you choose to learn from it. I mean, that's a whole metaphor for my life, right? Like if I got bitter, when I did get bitter, everything bit me in the ass. And then, like, remember, dude, I reached out to you not because I even knew you had a podcast. I reached out to you because I was reaching out to people I was addicted to. And I was like, hey, man, I think I was addicted to you. I hope I wasn't. I saw your stuff recently. And like every time I meet a comic and they're like, yeah, I remember you. I feel like it's like AA where you're like making amends. And I'm like, did I black out and wrong you on Twitter? And look, man, I mean, a lot of people, what I've noticed is the people who like to bury others online, like I used to do, are the ones who are fucking either miserable or mediocre, or just whatever, selfish, self-involved in their own shit. The ones who are like willing, like the first guy to call to make sure I was okay was Rogan, or text was Rogan. And he was furious with me. He thought I was this fucking snowflake asshole. And he was like, he reached out and then had me on his show, you know, to like patch shit up once I started doing stand-up again. And so like,
but he also had you on his show though a couple times because he knew that you were the comic that was going to defend the guy who got mad at the rape joke. Like,
oh no, back in the day. I'm saying like after I tried to kill myself and stuff, like all of my liberal social justice friends who talk about mental health all day, they didn't call to see if I was okay. But like the comics that I shit on, these degenerate comics, you, Stanhope, Rogan, those are the guys who reached out. And I think what I forgot about comedy and what a lot of people don't know about comedy is like, even the ones who seem mean on stage or telling offensive jokes or whatever, we're all fucking just broken misfits kind of being vulnerable on stage. And we still, you know, when it comes down to it, like look out for each other.
We're also trying to make people laugh. Like my goal is to make people happy versus like, if I'm a social justice warrior, I'm trying to get someone fired, you know? Not, I mean, you could say, well, in the means of social justice, but still, like, I never go on stage as a comic and try to get anyone fired. It's like, well, I'm trying to make people laugh.
Yeah, and like both of you guys have dealt with this, but like this is sort of the problem with cancel culture in general. Cancel culture is like, okay, so like as an athlete, right? Like you try to visualize and you try to think positive and you try to imagine yourself winning the fight, right? That's how you're going to get through is you can imagine all these positive things. What we as a society are doing online is the opposite now. We are going online every day, not to talk about things we like or enjoy, but to find something wrong that someone successful did, right? Kevin Hart, a young, successful black man, is going to host the Oscars. I'm going to find a tweet from 10 years ago to make sure he doesn't get canceled, as opposed to, holy shit, this dude said some dumb shit back in the day, but goddamn, he's like redeemed himself and he's motivating people now. He's motivating young kids to work out. Like, that's a big deal, but we've stopped caring about forgiveness. And for me, when I used to do that to people, it was because if I'm lashing out at other people, I don't have to examine my shitty marriage. I don't have to examine doing a show that I'm not really proud of anymore, that I don't really have any real friends, that I'd rather be doing jiu-jitsu. And that I'm staying in it because it's the first time I had money. It's the first time I had money because I'm a high school dropout and I'm on this political show. And maybe the reason I'm self-conscious is because I still have a chip on my shoulder about being dumb. So I want these smart kids to like me. You know what I mean? Like, you don't need to examine all that stuff going on because you're being like, fire Kevin Hart.
And you're also getting rewarded for it. You're getting retweets and people are, you know, doing all this
celebrities
stuff.
Are following you on Twitter. All this shit's happening. And like, look, call out racists, right? Call out bad people. If I see someone getting bullied, like I'm going to step in. But when you're just digging to find something bad or something that isn't really problematic, but you want it to trend on Twitter, you're not actually helping anybody. You know what I mean?
The whole thing back in the day was I was making jokes about Fallon Fox, who was a transgender fighter and the jokes were like very stupid jokes. In jiu-jitsu, there's the calf slicer, hers is the cock slicer, or just like very silly jokes. I wasn't taking really a side on it. I was not taking a side. I was just making the funny parts of it. Well, this woman wrote a whole fucking blog and tried to get me fired for Fox Sports, and it went viral. And then Jamie retweeted it, and I was more like, like this guy's a good comic. Like that was more like I like respected you as a comic, and that's like if you were some shitty fucking, I wouldn't care. But you were actually like a well-known comic. I think that's also people were like you didn't see yourself the way other comics maybe saw you, which is why they reacted to you.
Dude, people still say that. Like the dude who opened for me in Tempe was like, I saw you on TV 10 years ago. And I was like, oh, like whenever someone recognized me, I automatically assume it's bad. Like when someone's like, hey, you're Jamie Kilstein. I'm like, I didn't do that shit you heard about. And then it's like, no, I like saw you on Conan and you're like funny. And like, yeah, man, at the time, like, look, success doesn't matter if you hate yourself, right? Like you could be getting as many, TV spots or opportunities in the world. But if you're not clear on, your purpose, if you don't feel like, I'm trying to find a non-cheesy way to say it, but like if you don't like love yourself, no amount of success matters. I mean, you guys both know people who are probably wildly successful and infinitely more miserable. Like, look, when I lost all that money, I am so much happier now in Tucson in a 1-bedroom apartment with my cat and girlfriend where like I do jiu-jitsu most of the time than I ever was in like my 4-bedroom place on Prospect Park when I was yelling at people on Twitter in the living room and ignoring my wife.
Can you relate to that?
I suppose. I mean, I'm miserable. No, but well, how would you say that your do you think that your politics have changed? Because I just know you mostly from the politics side of things, and as I understood it, you're like a feminist sort of dude. Is that like still true today? Now that you've kind of like become the victim of feminism, kind? I mean, it kind of seems like that.
So here's what a lot of my politics are the same on the surface level.
Uh-oh.
So no, but I think you guys would agree with it, right? Like when I first became liberal, it was because I was a fan of like Bill Hicks and George Carlin. And I mean, people who would be canceled today, right? Like Carlin would always speak out against PC culture. Fucking Richard Pryor had like talked about domestic abuse. I became liberal through comedians. So like my idea of liberal is like, I want to help people who are struggling. I think that like war is bad. Don't fucking like everyone should be equal, right? Like gay people should marry, we can marry. Everybody should be able to like do legalized drugs if they're not hurting anybody. I'm not like, don't be a fucking racist. These are things that conservatives agree with. The problem is liberals are taking it to this like extra insane level where, if you have an argument with your girlfriend, suddenly that's emotional abuse. If you sleep around consensually, you're a sex predator. And the problem is not only is that like obviously bad for guys, but it's really bad for women. The people who have reached out to me the most and being like, yo, what happened to you was fucked up are not only women, they're women who have been abused, who have been like actually raped. And they're like, when I see someone saying they had a consensual one-night stand and they had a good time, but then, because you weren't their boyfriend or you didn't call them, that's abusive. They're like, I was fucking raped. That's awful. So I think the left, in a weird way, is ruining these causes that are still, I mean, I don't hang out with people who are like, fucking, I hate women, because no one hates women. Some women are fucking crazy and some women are fucking cool, right? Some gay people are fucking assholes and some gay people are cool. Everyone should have equal rights. That's fucking widely accepted. But now with the internet, it's like people have to like out woke each other. And that's what I used to do and prove that you're more progressive than everyone else. So where I'm at now is I have a lot of the same politics. I've definitely moved to the center on a lot of issues. But the biggest thing is I have a shitload of conservative friends. And the left hates that, and the left will call you a charlatan if you go on a conservative show or whatever. But I think that even as a liberal, or if you're a conservative, you need to be talking to people who disagree with you, because that's how you're going to come up with solutions. If I'm calling every conservative a Nazi just to look cool on Twitter, how am I ever going to get them to hear my point of view? I'm not. So it's counterproductive as a liberal. And it's also just fucking sad. I mean, I was just saying this to a friend of mine today. All of my like liberal feminist friends who talked about like we need more representation of people of color in Hollywood, they were the whitest fucking people I ever hung out with. I didn't hang out with actual minorities until I started doing jiu-jitsu. And guess what? Some of those fucking minorities are conservative. All of them Burchek will use more racist language than I'd hear at a Klan meeting, and he's Mexican. You know what I mean? Like, these are just
his wife's
funny
worse.
dudes.
Yeah.
What's that?
I said his wife is worse.
Oh my God. And they're the most amazing, loving people on the fucking planet, and they just know like a joke's a joke. So
but don't you find it kind of strange though that you were like part of this kind of social justice like attack mob, and then it rose up to bite you right in the ass?
Yeah, and
don't you find that? Don't you see the irony in it? That like you were kind of leading the charge on that type of stuff, and then the minute that you were, you know, smashing chicks consensually, that you're now, you know, like I mean, they came after you because they canceled you because of that.
Yeah, man. And there's part of me that I'm like, I do wonder sometimes when I'm being honest with myself, is like, if that didn't happen, would I still be doing the same thing? And like, I hope not, because I mainly hang out with like comics and jiu-jitsu people now. You know, I said this on Rogan's, where it was a crazy fucking feeling when you spend years typing hashtag believe all women, and then a bunch of untrue shit said about you. And then you're like, hashtag don't believe Diana, don't believe her, you know, where all these crazy things I used to say, just automatically assuming that every guy is guilty. Suddenly I'm like, oh, but like I didn't do those things. And that's I didn't even defend myself right away. I just disappeared because I'm like, anything I say to defend myself completely contradicts everything that I've been saying.
I know, and the thing for me is like, a part of me wanted to be like, yeah, let's get him. But then I'm like, fucking, that's not helping. You know, like it's not helping piling on you. It's like, who cares? You know, it's just like,
I mean, I'll say that everybody has fucked up. And everybody has slept with someone they shouldn't have. And everyone has been a shittier boyfriend or a girlfriend. And women have done fucking batshit crazy shit to me. And I remember after all this happened to me, I was dating this like very hot but insane girl, because I assumed like this is all I can get now. And she would like, I would come back from jiu-jitsu and she would like literally like start hitting me, telling me that like, she thought I was with another girl, or like, why am I sweating? There was one time where we fucked before I went to jiu-jitsu. Or no, we fucked before I went to do a radio show. I come home, she starts going down on me, forgets we fucked, tastes pussy on my dick, and starts screaming at me that I went and cheated on her. And I had to tell her, that's your pussy. You are literally getting jealous of your own pussy.
How much did her pussy smell? Like 2 hours later, she could taste that.
Look, again, when you're canceled, you can't be beggars, can't be choosers, right?
Right, of course. All right, so let's talk about jiu-jitsu. So you came out with a really, really funny viral video last week. I watched it. I was like, this is genius. This is what he should be doing, shit like this. Like the 3 people you hate training with in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
That was great. And talk about those 3 people.
Yeah, man. So I finally started doing jiu-jitsu videos. This is all I've ever wanted to do. So there was, the first video I did was the Epstein choke, and that kind of blew up. And then it was like an instructional. And then the 3 guys it was overly injured guy who shouldn't be rolling. It was a guy who, instead of tapping, starts coaching you. So as you're tapping, you're like, wait. And they're like, what? You're just like, you got to squeeze your knees. And then they just like end the round somehow. And then it was guy who like says they just want to flow and then freaks the fuck out and like attacks you like they're avenging their fallen family.
I think that's like me.
Sack a knee and elbows.
That's like that's how wrestlers are. So I thought that was brilliant, and people love those videos.
Yeah, man. Well, so this is kind of what I'm realizing out here. Like, now that I'm outside of LA and like kind of away from my agents, I'm like, I'm just going to do what the fuck I want. And what I've always wanted to do is jiu-jitsu videos. And what no one on my like team in LA understood was fucking jiu-jitsu. And jiu-jitsu is a dope fucking niche market of obsessed nerds. So I'm just going to start making these. I have a brilliant filmmaker friend down here named Nate. And we're just working together, and we're posting them on Instagram and posting them on YouTube. And then I'm launching this big jiu-jitsu podcast next week. And we're talking to Jocko's company about working with us, and fucking Kenny Florian's the first guest. Huron Gracie's the second. Kevin Lee's going to come on third. I would love to have fucking both of you guys on.
And what's
we
it
just
called?
wanted Rear Naked Radio.
Rear Naked Radio.
Solid name.
It's gonna be on iTunes. It's gonna be on all, Stitcher, the whole thing.
YouTube, Spotify. Yeah. So the links are in my bio right now on Instagram, which is just the Jamie Kilstein. And then my co-host has that huge Instagram account, because _jitsu. It's like the biggest Instagram meme jiu-jitsu thing. And so we're both doing it. And yeah, it's going to launch next week with Florian. And the episode was fucking great, man. And we're just talking about all the reasons people want to quit, and we're giving advice to white belts, and we're talking about mental health, and we're interviewing these dope fighters, and we want to interview like comedians who train, and like I want to get like Rogan and Sam Harris and those guys on. Like, there's no mainstream jiu-jitsu podcast, and jiu-jitsu people are so like sick of trying to talk about it with their girlfriends and then being like, I don't want to hear about this, that we just want a place for like everyone to gather. And just be fucking dorks about this like really cool art where you get your ass kicked every day, but also like make friends.
Well, Mayhem is now his 2nd degree black belt under Verdum.
Jesus, that's incredible.
And he went to jail for 1.5 years, came out, and 2 months later got a black belt. I don't understand how you could take 1.5 years off and then get your 2nd degree black belt.
Listen, bro, when you're doing pull-ups on the table, you're doing push-ups, you're doing squats, you're choking your knee every day.
What's the best tournament you ever won?
Man, yeah, you're bringing
Worlds?
it back. No.
Well, Jason, you heard Rogan and Faraz talk about you the other day, right? Did you hear about that?
No.
It was this
What
morning.
did
They were just raving about you, like just
Yeah.
talking about like your old fights, and they talked about the Sakuraba fight.
No.
I mean, as far as like ADCC, did you ever do any of those? Like,
No, you know, the funny thing about ADCC was that during the phase of my career where I was grappling a lot with Mark Lehman, like Mark Lehman like made bootleg ADCC tapes, and we were banned. We were banned because of his love for jiu-jitsu. He was like spreading these tapes around, and man, we got banned from ADCC. I couldn't even go.
Now, back when Mark Kerr won Abu Dhabi, were you training back then?
Yeah.
Did you ever train with Kerr?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, one time. Yeah, I did.
How good was he?
Yeah, he was a beast wrestler, you know. But I was like a young, slick jiu-jitsu dude. I was like making moves, you know. It was kind of like our trajectories are on a different path.
But a guy couldn't do that anymore. A guy like a wrestler like Kerr, that level.
Even when I was doing it, it was like doing jiu-jitsu tournaments. It was becoming a specialized thing where the guys who were like the ultra jiu-jitsu guys were doing that only jiu-jitsu all the time. And I was like making big moves by just even placing in the tournaments because I was half the time doing striking. So it was like a weird moment.
Did you watch Jake Shields last week?
No, what happened?
So he lost to, you watched that Jake Shields in Polaris?
No.
Polaris got him or what?
Yeah, Polaris. He did Jake Shields. He fought some guy who's like a stud in jiu-jitsu. I don't know the guy's name. I don't follow jiu-jitsu like they do.
No. You're talking about Luke Rockhold, not Shields.
Oh, yeah, Luke Rockhold. Yeah, Luke Rockhold lost.
Yeah.
So Shields is training partners with the guy. They're all out of Henzo. It's like the Gordon Ryan.
Yeah, what's that guy's name?
Nicky Rod. So he got to ADCC, beat Cyborg as a blue belt. Danaher literally gave him his purple belt on the ADCC podium.
Nice.
And then fought Luke Rockhold. And then, I guess Luke.
So he beat Rockhold. But Rockhold's like head cut. halfway through it, and
Head cut.
like they collided heads.
clashed
and he
heads?
was like, and people
Damn.
were like, "Great, Rockhold's gonna get knocked out in Polaris." But he did okay. I mean, it looked like Rockhold just wasn't all there.
Yeah.
He said beforehand, he's like, "I'm doing this for fun. This is not fighting."
Yeah.
People who think jiu-jitsu is fighting, that's funny to him. But it
Yeah.
seems like he kind of did it.
Rockhold's too hot to like need it. You know what I mean? Like you have to have like a little desperation in you. Like I feel like every time Luke Rockhold loses a fight, he's like, "Oh, I guess I got to go back to my sad life of fucking models." Like he's gonna be fine. What you say about those tapes? I just remembered that was like I feel like when I heard that, it reminds me of like when I remember like people my age, like when we used to have to get porn. Like now kids can just Pornhub on their phone.
Yeah.
We had to go on these like adventures and like hike through the woods to find like old hustlers and shit.
Okay,
And I
boomer.
feel like, dude, but it was the same way with those tapes. Like I had literally Pedro Hizzo instructional tapes where he was
I remember those.
like,
Yeah.
Did he like just call everyone faggots on those tapes? Like they would not be okay today. But yeah,
who's the best guy you ever rolled against?
I don't know. That bro, I roll with everybody. It's kind of like, it's like a who's who.
But now with that Gracie one, that like he came out in a gi and you were
the gi.
not in a gi.
Yeah, that was the weirdest tournament ever because like I like beat everybody and then I go against Gracie
Which
and he's
Gracie
wearing
was
a jacket.
Which Gracie
the
was it?
big one. And
The big dude know his name?
no, yeah. But anyway, like I just like suddenly was getting gi choked, and I was like, "Well, that was slick." After the damn tournament, I was like, "Man, I lost."
But were you wearing a gi?
To a gi? No, that's what I mean. I didn't know
But
that.
how was he gi choking you if you didn't have a gi?
He put his gi like in this weird look. He's
Around
a
your
Gracie.
neck?
Yeah, around my neck. He like wrapped it around my neck. And since I was like training MMA, or we called it NHB back then, I didn't even realize what he was doing. Like I was like, what the hell? And I had been out of the gi for a couple years, and I definitely I learned my lesson
you mad at
that
him
day.
for that?
No, I was laughing like, what the hell? Like
You lost the tournament. This was the finals,
I know.
right?
Yeah, but I was just shocked that, I was on Gracie turf and I lost to a Gracie move. So I didn't feel a lot of shame. I was pissed off at first, but then I realized, you know what? Yeah, I'm at his house. I'm playing his rules.
Now, when you rolled with Daniel Cormier, right? Cormier came to the gym,
Yeah.
and you tapped him a couple times.
Yeah, but I mean, this is back before he was the champ. This is back before he was just stepping in. So I got my shits and giggles on him.
Did you
know
know
what
that
I mean?
he was going to be the champ one day?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing: is that during one of our sparring, I was like lighting him up, but it was MMA sparring, so he was like, ducking and dodging, like getting punched in the face, and I was shocked. I was like, this dude's gonna fight MMA, But then he like took me on a ride, threw me like ass over tea kettle to the point where like I had time to go wee, and I realized, okay, this dude is like a specimen. So, and it was my hope to help teach him how to box and how to do the rest of mixed martial arts to complement his already awesome wrestling.
But were there
game.
guys like Sokoju that you train with that you're like, this is the strongest guy I've ever went up against? Like, how did he not become champion? Or
Yeah, but it goes back to that thing like that everybody has a set of skills that they come into the game with, and when you're sparring against dudes, you do the best to drag the game into an area where you can win. Same as a fight. Like you try to make it happen. But yeah, Sokoju's a specimen, Cormier's a specimen. It's like everybody has their skill set.
Was there a guy that you were like, man, this guy sucks, and then all of a sudden he's winning, knocking people out? You're like, wow, how the fuck did that happen?
Nah,
I mean, not that. I'm saying people say that like Kelvin Gastelum's a guy.
Yeah,
they're like.
I've definitely seen
everybody
dudes
roughs him up, and then he's knocking everyone out.
I've definitely seen dudes that are gamers. That's for sure. That are not like maybe you'll get off on him in practice, but then when he goes to game time, he really turns it up, and that's always an interesting.
And you
thing
see the
to
opposite too, where you're like, in practice,
Yeah.
this guy's like people said Mike Pyle.
My Pyle would, he would chill in the room, he would like be kind of playful and whatever. Yeah, and he would show up and do pretty damn awesome.
Pretty awesome. But people say like if Pyle fought the way he did in practice, he would have been the champion for a long time. But sometimes the lights get to you, or
maybe
the nerves get to you. Or Jamie, have you ever had a real fight?
No, I've just done. I was actually going to ask Jason a question on that because like I've done like Muay Thai smokers and then jiu-jitsu competitions, and so when I had like the year I competed, I got like all silvers. I never got gold. So silver world, silver Pan Am, silver the trials. And Robert Drysdale was coaching me during the finals, and he could tell that I was happy with silver. And he called me over. I literally hit the mat when I got silver, like I won the whole thing. And I don't know if it's because I was like never an athlete. I was never an athlete in high school. And I set the bar so low for myself, but I never found that way. I'm way better in the room. I mean, silver's still good, right? But like, I've never had that like fucking kill or be killed drive. I'm still really like loose when I compete. And I don't know. I don't really know how to turn that switch. Like, is there something that you would do, Jason? Because you don't seem like you're like a dick on the mat, like, when you're training, but like how to transfer that. Cause I play best when I am playful, when I am kind of counter fighting. And then I go into a competition and some guy is just like fucking mean mugging me and swatting my head. And there's part of me that I'm like, what are you doing? Like assuming we're not in a fucking fight. And so I've just never had that like competitive part of me. Like I like putting on a show and being playful. But I really kind of like, because Burchak really wants me to compete, and I've been debating it.
Yeah, I think that there's kind of a mental game you have to play with yourself, because I agree with you on that whole like being playful and relaxed. Like that, I've had my best performances when I was like, I danced that line between creative and relaxed and competitive, and I think it's more of a mindset to get into right before you step on the mat or in the cage. Like it's like it happens way before, because for you to keep that happiness going, that's why I always danced, because like I wanted to stay happy and stay like, yeah, this is a fun game that I'm playing, instead of okay, I'm quiet and I'm brooding and I'm angry, because the fights that I did like that, I lost, because like I would just blow it because I would get too aggressive, or I couldn't calm down, and like I would make mistakes. So yeah, for each athlete it's different, but I think that getting in that competitive mode and dancing that line of relaxation and creativity and staying in the moment, that's where the science points these days. And I guess what, on Saturday we're going to coach the kids, and I'm going to try to get that in their head.
I love it. They have a first match coming up. Well, listen, Jamie, thank you. I'm so happy you're doing well. I'm really proud of you, man.
Jason, I've been a fan of yours for a while too. I watched all of Bully Beatdown.
God bless you, man. That's awesome.
I got so excited when fucking Adam told me you were on the show. So this is great talking to. And Adam, I love you so much, man.
You too, brother. Keep it up.
Yep.
All right, cool.
Talk to you soon, bro.
Take care.
Bye.
All right, that was Jamie Kilstein.
Oh yeah, he's great.
Good dude.
Yeah, he's fucking
good dude.
Talking my damn head off. I loved it. Just rapid fire. That guy had to answer for everything.
All right, so let's talk about some fights this week. Coming up, UFC Washington. Overeem is taking on.
It's at Washington.
Yeah.
Where?
I don't know.
I know.
But
Tacoma Dome?
No, Washington D.C.
Oh, even better.
Yeah. It's Overeem versus Rosenstruck. You know this guy? He knocked out Arlovsky in 29 seconds last fight.
Damn.
Knocked down Crowder. Undefeated guy.
Wait, what's his name again?
His last name is Rosenstruck. He's from Africa.
Rosenstruck, that's right.
I think he's from Nigeria, I believe.
Rosenstruck? That's a Nigerian name?
They're really high on this guy, but at the same time, he's not tested. Like Arlovsky, obviously.
Look, Arlovsky's a huge name, but at the same time, he's got some wear and tear on him, right?
Yeah, and he's not even really a heavyweight, right? Is he a heavyweight? But like he
sort
of
of
be at 205, right?
Wait, who's he fighting?
So he's fighting Overeem.
Oh, that's what's going down?
Yeah, All-Star Overeem is fighting this guy.
So they're like putting him against the old vets to like see what he can do. Huh?
Right.
Trying to showcase him.
Right.
All right.
This guy Rosenstreak. He's he looks like the dude looks like he means business. 9-0, 6'2", 245. That's a picture of him right there. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, he's got a split decision against somebody in Ryzen, or a good fighter in Ryzen. But Overeem is 45-17, not including his kickboxing matches, which he's had a bunch of them.
Yeah, Overeem is a good test for this guy. You know what I mean? He's got a variety of skills. It's just one of those. I want to see Overeem win, but it seems like this young dude's on fire right now. Oh,
yeah, they're trying to build him up against, and
it's not that hard to do in the heavyweight division, because think about it. I mean, it's a lottery for the young guy usually, because the older guy has been KO'd a bunch of times. I mean, that's just the business.
And Overeem seems to leave his chin out sometimes.
And Overeem, he still thinks he's a 205-pound kickboxer. You know what I mean? He fights like he used to.
Well, juiced up Overeem was a.
Oh man, you mean Ubereem?
Yeah, that was.
I remember.
Guy.
Yeah,
a different guy. Also, Cynthia Cavillo, who's a girl that got like cheated on by her boyfriend, took like a martial arts class.
Nice.
And then is now ranked like 3 in the world.
A story old as time.
And is awesome. Super cool chick. Got suspended for like marijuana for like a year or some bullshit.
Gangster.
She's fighting this girl, Rodriguez, who beat Tisha Torres, beat Jessica Aguilar her last 2 fights. Has a loss against Randa Marcos. Another girl who's 12-0-1. Oh no, I guess she has a draw against Marcos. I like Cavillo though. This girl's tough Mexican girl.
Yeah, I got to do some research before I comment on that, but I mean, should be fun.
Ben Rothwell versus Stefan Struve.
It's about time that happened.
It's like a Bellator main event.
It's kind of like a parking lot, like you know what I mean? Country bar.
Yeah.
Struve comes in. He's wearing like a lumberjack hat. He's all pissed off at Ben Rothwell for stealing his girl. So he just comes in there. They go meet in the parking lot. Everybody pulls their pickups around. I mean, it's just the way the dudes look. They're both awesome fighters.
Stephen though might have. I love Stephen. He's a guy that was in the hospital that was like, MMA Roasted, please cheer me up. I'm fucking medication. I got my tooth went through my lip. Yeah, he's a good dude.
He is.
And I always talk about how he looks like Matt Serra got run over by a cement mixer.
Yeah.
Like he's 3 members.
He's so tall. Like what the hell? But both dudes are great fighters. And they're fucking huge. But I get what you're saying.
His fight IQ sometimes. Like Mark Hunt knocked him out.
What do you mean? That's what we want to see. We want to see 2 dummies go for it. You know what I mean? They fight with passion.
But why is the guy like Stephen getting knocked out by Mark Hunt? Like Mark Hunt's like 5'3".
You go fight Mark Hunt.
I would never fight Mark Hunt, but if I was 6'11", how could he reach his chin?
What do you mean, man? Bro, listen, the height difference is not that big inside there, especially if he's swinging a haymaker at your damn head.
Really? Is that a Struve?
What do you expect him to do? Put his chin backwards and like sway out the way? That's just not how it works.
7 foot.
He just said 6'11".
No,
bro.
7 foot.
He just gained an inch by you talking about him?
7 foot. Against Ben Rothwell, I don't know. I mean,
Ben Rothwell's a beast. He like has a good strategy, like you know.
Remember from the IFL days.
But it's weird because he's like the short guy in this fight, which is I mean,
6'4".
That's what I'm saying. But he's like the short guy,
big dude.
And so it's going to be weird to see what the hell he's going to do when he got to play as the short guy. You know.
He came to my show. I said he met his wife on Farmers Only.
Nice.
He was a good sport. I like. I'm happy for a while. He was trying to do like WWE gimmicks.
Oh really?
Where he tried to like evil laughter. Ben
Oh
Rothwell.
wait, yeah, I saw that actually.
It was kind of strange.
That's funny. Whatever. I liked it. I thought it was hilarious.
All right. So who do you like in that fight?
Oof. Right?
I don't know. How could Struve win?
He can keep the jab out there. He can, I don't know, foul him.
I mean, how could he win? I mean,
I think he could win like a motherfucker. Like,
I mean, he's a guy that has a win over Stipe Miocic.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I mean, by guillotine, standing guillotine.
Listen, that dude is he's a beast. So I think a submission could come out of that from Struve. Ben Rothwell can gas himself out. I've seen him do it before.
Barnett by like titty fuck. You see
Yeah,
that one?
yeah,
Like
that was
he
weird.
just took his head,
Yeah.
put it between his tits,
Listen.
put them together. And Barnett is
my
awesome.
God.
It's like
I
Barnett's
know.
fighting in Bellator. He's fighting.
I know, huh? He's making his debut.
Who's he
I
fighting?
read
He's
that.
fighting somebody good. Brazilian dude. So
We'll talk about that later.
all right, Cody Stamen, who's a guy who was an amazing fighter. He's that Team Alpha Male. Now he's at the PI. He's a guy. He lost to Aljamain Sterling, some crazy submission. He's fighting Song Yadong. Great name.
Man, I'll tell you.
Yadong.
Man, you dong, don't you?
Cody should win. Rob Font, good fighter, fighting Ricky Simone. Everybody's high on Ricky Simone. Then he got knocked out by Uriah Faber. And he was talking shit to Faber. It was like Faber's comeback fight.
Yeah.
And everyone's picking Ricky Simone. He's got a mullet. He's fucking on his way up. And Faber wins. Knocks him out in one round. But it was kind of a quick stoppage, I have to say. But Rob Font's good. I think Ricky should win this fight. Thiago Alves, Tim Means. Tim Means went to jail. He told me back in the day. He said that they would know if you were jerking off because you would like put like a towel in like the hole.
Wow.
And then people wouldn't come in if that was is that what you guys did or no?
No, we just Spider-Man at each other.
Could you hear guys jerking off in the other?
Yeah.
And what did you do?
Look away.
Really?
Yeah. Cry.
That's horrible. Also, Bryce Mitchell's on the card. He's a kid from Arkansas, one Ultimate Fighter. And he also has like a job where he does like construction. He drilled his nutsack with a power drill.
Every time you tell me the story, I'm like hurting even worse.
And he posted a picture of his boxer shorts.
As people are wont to do. I mean, you want to see the evidence.
Really?
No.
Nobody wants to see that. He's fighting. So yes, that's this week. Next week is Colby Usman.
That's next week? I thought it was this week already.
No, that's December 14th.
All right. Well, we'll get into that next week then.
Well, I'm going to be in Vegas next week.
Oh,
All
hell
week.
yeah.
Who do you like in that fight?
I mean,
If I get tickets, will you come out to Vegas for the show? You can't, can you?
I think I can. Maybe.
You have curfew?
More than likely.
Colby, would it be hard going to an event? Everybody saying hi to you and asking you when you're fighting again, and jail and surrounding you and pictures.
Bro, listen, life is hard. Yeah, I'm taking on life one day at a time, doing fine.
Do you ever worry that people might take shots at you for things you might have done back in the day?
Not really. I mean, at this time, it's been so long since I've done bad shit that like anybody who is still mad about it, you know what I mean, has probably already taken a shot or gotten over it.
How's your striking? Have you been training striking at all?
Yeah.
You have?
Yeah.
Well, nice.
I just been having fun like with my life.
But I'm saying, you go to classes?
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, I've been running some classes, coaching some dudes, and
Are you sparring at all?
I haven't yet. I haven't got back into it. That's the next step, I think. I'm like kind of in shape, so
People still are
there.
commenting that they think that you can make a run
Oh yeah,
in either Bellator, or UFC, or PFL or something. Or
that's an interesting idea.
really?
I mean, sounds fun on paper.
By the way, people are writing once again. I'm here for Mayhem. Somebody wrote, "I'm here for Adam." Said no one ever.
Yeah.
I was like, that one got me. I'm like, that one got me. All right, so the quick running out of that card. Holloway versus Volkanovski. Volkanovski is this guy that was from Australia. He was a rugby player. He was like 230 pounds. Is now fighting at 145. Fucking everyone up.
What?
Knocked out Chad Mendez.
How did he get down? Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like lost a whole nother human.
He's fighting Max Holloway, who's coming off a win against Frankie Edgar.
Oh yeah.
Holloway lost to Poirier at 55. That's when you see the difference. I picked Holloway for that fight. Jermaine Durandame taking on Amanda Nunes. Durandame is a girl that's like they were calling her the female Anderson Silva. Amazing at Muay Thai, like 87-0 or something.
Yeah.
And then went into MMA and got like fucked up by like a little bit. I think Sarah McMahon beat her or some other. I think Nunes might have beaten her. But since then she's climbed up the ladder. She beat Holly Holm, but she kept hitting her after the bell like 3 times, but still got the win. And she hasn't fought in a long time. They wanted her to fight Cyborg. She didn't fight Cyborg.
They suspended her for it. No.
No, she got the win. It was like, but it was blatantly after the bell.
Really.
I met her. Seems like a really cool chick and funny. She asked me out on a date when I was single.
Nice.
I think she would have fucking. I think that would have been fun. Her versus Nunez. So you can't pick against Nunez, right?
Right. I mean, that's very difficult.
Aldo versus Moraes. Moraes has been knocking out everybody. Knocked out Aljamain Sterling in like fucking 10 seconds. Knocked out Jimmy Rivera in 10 seconds. Knocked out somebody else. And he's fighting Jose Aldo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's going down. I just saw that. Yeah, that's what's Aldo? I mean,
he's been looking good. He seems like he can beat
that's what
anybody.
I mean.
That McGregor fight took a lot of steam out of him when he got knocked out in 8 seconds.
I know, yeah.
Since then he hasn't lost though, except to Max Holloway.
Huh.
And he's been fucking people up. This guy Neil is taking on Perry. That's the guy we talked about, but Neil is 12-0 or something and just been destroying everyone. Matt Brown versus Ben Saunders. That's an oldie fight. Matt Brown's making a comeback. Ben Saunders has not been looking that good lately. Have you trained with Ben?
I don't
Killer
think
B,
so.
tall guys, fucking
Yeah,
sideburns.
I remember, yeah.
And then this guy named Chase Hooper, which is crazy. This kid that like is amazing at jiu-jitsu. He's like 19 years old, but I don't think is ready for the UFC. Based on the fights that I've seen him at.
Really?
Seems like they're just
19.
He's young and he's good looking and he's cute and he's great at jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
But his striking is
All right. Not so good.
No bueno. But maybe I'm wrong. I've been wrong plenty of fucking times. And Ian Heinisch is back. He's the guy that was from Denver, state champion, was dealing ecstasy, ended up going to jail in a Turkish prison, became captain of the Turkish prison kickboxing team, changed to another jail, went to Rikers, was about to get stabbed.
Transferred.
There was an SOS on him.
From Turkish?
Yeah.
Wow.
An SOS on him, which is stabbing on sight, I guess they say, in prison terms. Mom put up her house, is out, is now like 13-1 in the UFC. Only lost to Derek Brunson.
Good for him.
Yeah. So that's what's coming
from
up.
my underdog story, man. God,
but no one knows that except for me.
Oh, really?
They don't. That should be like.
Yeah, that should be a part of the marketing materials, I guess.
Right?
Maybe the UFC will shoot a package. Who knows?
Like a comic book or something. This fucking guy.
That's great.
So tonight you're at the Dime Bar.
All right.
You and Uncle Creepy.
Oh,
both doing comedy.
Perfect.
Yeah, should be a good show. Next week I'll be in Las Vegas, December 9th to the 15th at the Strat. If you want to come and do a guest set, you're more than welcome. And if I get tickets to the UFC, I'd love to you be my guest, my date.
I hear you.
I just don't want you to
just take this remote control.
Yeah. So anything coming up?
No.
All right.
I'm
Listen,
just working.
Thank you for having us on the podcast. Thank you, Kayla. Thank you, my man Jamie. Take care. Have a great week.
God bless America.
Estou tanto por amor,